Well, the Mariners get back to it at home after being swept in San Diego. They dropped the finale last night. They look to rebound against a Texas team that had their way with them earlier, and it's going to be the same pitching matchups we saw in that previous three-game set. Game one will feature Logan Gilbert headed out to the hill for the Seattle Mariners. The Texas Rangers counter with Jacob deGrom. You can catch all of the action starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. One final today. The Cubs hammer the Mets in Chicago, 12-4, the final in that game. Getting ready to get underway in just a little bit. Guardians host the Orioles. Braves on the road to take on the Phillies. Rays on the road in Pittsburgh, facing a very good Pirate team at this point. And the Nationals and Giants get together in Washington. Yankees in New York with the Royals in town. Brewers taking on the Marlins in Miami. Red Sox host the Tigers. Astros and Cardinals get together in Houston.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Here we are again, Dave. It's like we never left. We are live at Victory Hall right across the street from T-Mobile Park, where the Seattle Mariners return home to begin a three-game series with the Texas Rangers, followed by a three-game series with the Sacramento A's, I guess. Are they officially called Sacramento A's or just the A's?
Just the A's.
Just call them the A's.
Just the A's.
Be done
Okay.
with it.
That's it.
The A's or the Athletics, Bob, if you really want to be formal.
The Athletics. Okay. Well, they'll come in after the Rangers, and we'll see what goes on there. Coming up on the show, Aaron Goldsmith, voice of your Seattle Mariners, will join us here in person at Victory Hall coming up at 2:30. Talk to our guy Paul Moyer at 3 p.m. for his weekly conversation. I would imagine the Abandoned Boys are not feeling good about things. We'll do a little heat check.
I can imagine. Yeah, based on some of the histrionics that have gone on in this group here.
Oh, jeez.
Bob, 2 nights ago you said you threw yourself on the floor. What happened this time?
I did. I gave in. I just sat there shaking my head, just like
In shock.
Yeah, I just was numb. I was just numb. We do have mean texts coming up at 5:15, so you can get those rolling at 866-979-3776. Just be creative. That's all we ask.
Well, I did actually glance at the text toy last night when the game was going on, and
Oh, did you really?
there was
That
a lot
must
of
have been a
hatred.
hayride.
Oh yeah.
That must
Fire
have been
Dan.
a festival of pain.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, our guy Lefko had to do the post game, which I almost felt sorry for you.
Oh. Jeez.
Wait, why didn't you fully feel sorry for him?
Well, he's, you got to cut your teeth. You got to pay your dues, and that's part of it. But he's
And also because Wednesday night was worse.
yeah, Wednesday was much worse. Yesterday stunk because it was the finale, and it was just like a fait accompli. But yeah, had you had to do the post game for the collapse, I don't even know what that text line would have looked like.
I would have sat there speechless, which is a problem when you have to talk on the post game.
Yeah,
You can't
it's
be
not good.
speechless on the radio. It's not good.
Yeah, and Lefko was showing me a screenshot of some of the text last night coming in, and it all was centering around Dan Wilson.
Yeah.
And I told Dan, this is why I didn't want him to be a manager. I love you, Dan. Love you. Love Dan Wilson. Nicest guy in the world, just a saint of a human being, and I don't want to be in a position where I criticize Dan Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, what in the world are you doing? What in the world is happening? It's as if we knew this was coming because we were talking about it yesterday. I'm sort of done with the handedness. I'm done with a lefty's on the hill. All right, bring in a righty. Oh, a righty's on the hill. Bring in a lefty. I get that that's how typically things go, but your team is not hot enough right now to take out the hottest bat in your lineup.
Yeah.
I don't care. I do not care what the numbers say. Our guy Luke Arkins did a very, very exhaustive search on Luke Raley throughout his career, where he's been hot and how he's done against lefties, and it's all very detailed. And Luke does a great job on Twitter if you want to check that out. I don't care. I do not care. Give me the guy who's got the most confidence when he steps into that box, who feels like, man, I am seeing that ball. That ball looks like it's in slow motion to me. I'm squaring everything up. Yeah, he's not historically been good against lefties. I get it. But Connor Joe's had one game one game under his belt, and it wasn't good, didn't have a hit, and you bring him in with the bases loaded in a situation where this team desperately needed an offensive spark, and it felt like you could break down the door here, and yet you bring in Connor Joe to pinch hit for Luke Raley. I was like, Dan, what are you doing? I get that the numbers say this, and he's a righty, that's a lefty, and here's the numbers that back it all up, but sometimes numbers be damned. Numbers be damned. Come on. Just go. I could live if he would have rolled with Luke Raley, and Luke Raley goes up there and whiffs or rolls over on one, just records an out. I would have been like, I'm okay with it. I would not be in here today going, Dan, why didn't you pinch hit him? I would have said I would have done the same exact thing because he's the hottest bat in your lineup, and I'm going to roll with that confidence versus somebody who's been sitting on the bench since he's been called up other than one game.
So of the fans, what would you say of the fans that pay attention to that and know about that stat and everything? Because when they put Connor Joe up there, Morahans, who we'll hear from some of them later, some of the Morahans. But yeah, I mean, he and Aaron mentioned he had gotten touched up a little bit by righties. And then Connor Joe roped that one at the end of the game, man. I mean,
but in that one, it was not a good AB. He strikes out.
Yeah, exactly. In that one. So I mean, I think that's what he was thinking, that he's going to hit it hard and maybe touch it up. But also, I think that was against a righty, right? So because they had the other reliever in there. But what percentage would you say are go with the hot bat or go with the handedness?
The fans?
As far as, people that pay attention to that kind of thing, whether people texting in or complaining on.
Well, I can tell you after last night, everybody was on board with Luke Raley, which is easier in hindsight. But we were talking about it prior to this game where I was saying, I do not care. Leave the guy in.
Well, see, and I don't mind that because if you stick with it, you wear it, fine. But, I mean, I kind of tend to go that way. But, if he is hot, and, Dan sees it and sees the confidence and everything, it must not have been enough in order, to leave him in. But, and the one thing I was texting with Brent Stecker, and, I thought he made a really good point is that, you look at the numbers for Luke Raley and everything, but also, I think he's got 2 at-bats against lefties this year. Yeah. And he's got 1 hit, and but...
So that comes out to hitting 500.
Yeah, he's 500, Bob. So you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just, I think, and what Brent said is it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you don't give him a lot of opportunities up there against the lefties.
No. So it's a situation where he's not getting those turns in order to gain that confidence. And I'm not saying you should leave him in there for every lefty you ever face. But when he's rolling, I would let him work through it. I mean, you're not going to get better by not facing lefties.
Right.
And there are guys that are in the lineup, like J.P. Crawford, who's a lefty. You're not pulling him. You're not pulling Donovan when there's a lefty. You're not pulling Naylor. You might give him a day off. If it's a really tough lefty, that might be the day you pick to give him a day off, perhaps. But, there's certain guys. You're not pulling Julio and Cal switch hitter, but you're not pulling Julio when there's a tough righty on the hill. I mean, at some point you get to a level of confidence with some of these hitters. Like, all right, I have faith in what we're going to see from them. They're gonna provide a good AB up there. They're going to at least make the pitcher work. They're not going to chase outside the zone.
So Connor Joe, Wisdom was available. Who's the other right-handed batter?
Leo Rivas, a switch hitter.
Was it Garver maybe?
Garver's righty.
Yeah. So I don't. I'm kind of with you on that one. That he's first of all, I just think he needs to get at bats against lefties, and let's just go with the hot hand. I tend to agree with you on that.
Yeah, I would have lived with the results. I would have because look, that's the other part of it is there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on.
Right.
And I get it. You're emotional. You're looking at a situation that could have changed the outcome of the game, right? Bases loaded. You got your hottest hitter coming up to the plate. You pinch hit him. I get that reaction. Again, we were talking about this before yesterday's game that I didn't want to see the handedness play into decision-making, especially when the lineup is not clicking yet. Yeah. But having said that, there's no guarantee Luke Raley would have done anything. He might have gone up there and struck out. Mm-hmm. So I'm not blaming Dan for the outcome as much as I am just for the sort of, it feels like it's just kind of automatic pilot. Like, yeah, we're going to go with this. because that's how it goes. Oh, left-handed, we're going right-handed. And it feels like it's, and I'm probably not giving them enough credit. I'm sure there's a lot more thought put into it. But that's how it feels. Like, oh, they're bringing out the lefty. All right, here's what we're doing. Or bringing out the righty. All right, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like we all have the same information, right? You can get that online anywhere. But the information we don't have is what, talking to the player.
Yeah.
In the clubhouse, how's he feeling?
All right, coming up, one confusing issue has popped up for the Mariners. We're going to dive into that coming up next as we continue live from Victory Hall with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
After reaching the NFL's mountaintop,
the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The work continues for the Seahawks to keep the foundation strong. It's the 2026 NFL Draft. Next Thursday, April 23rd. Only Seattle Sports begins its first-round draft coverage with a reigning NFL Executive of the Year.
Who are the real Seahawks?
The John Schneider Show at 4 p.m. with Brock Hewitt, Michael Bumpus, Steve Wyman, and host Bob Stelton live until 9 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafee and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Mariners and Rangers tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Brock Ewart here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, we met about a decade ago when you came into the studio, and at that point, IRG was humming, but you were not 40 locations strong all over the neighborhood. How have you done this, and why?
Number one, Brock, great people. Our strength here at IRG is our people. Secondly, we are a company that has a culture of giving back and taking care of our patients, taking care of our team, and thirdly, taking care of our community. We want to be your family physical therapist. More importantly, we want to be your family's neighborhood physical therapist. We want you to come in, have a great experience, and get better and get out there and be pain-free and function.
Take care of your friends. Taking care of your neighbors, taking care of your community, and taking care of Western Washington. With over 40 locations now, that's exactly what IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is doing. Find them in person, find them online at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's Dan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We continue live from Victory Hall. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Lots of people texting in on Dan's decision to pinch hit for Luke Raley with the bases loaded and bringing up Connor Joe last night. And a few are pointing out, I guess Mike Salk made the argument this morning based on the stats and what managers would do in this situation. And Dan's
much like
not alone.
Much like Mike McDonald, you said, I do not care.
I couldn't possibly care less. And I love Mike. And I respect his opinion. And he along with Luke Arkins are right.
Salk?
Yeah. Well, somebody called him Sulk on here.
Okay.
But,
no, but you said you love Salk?
I love Salk. I like to give him a hard time, but yeah, of course.
I'm just kidding.
But the same is true for Luke Arkins. His argument counters mine. They're using it based on previous information. They're looking at the numbers. Right. And I had said this before the game. I don't care what the numbers tell you. I understand that they do not favor Luke Raley in that situation. 100%. They're both right. Salk's right, and Luke Arkins is right. I get it. But I'm saying sometimes you got to get outside of that because the lineup at this point is just not good enough to, in my opinion, to remove your hottest bat in that situation. I don't see that as being a reasonable move, especially when you're going with somebody who's played in one game since he's been here and didn't look good. And you know what? He didn't look good in that AB when he went up there and struck out with the bases loaded. So, again, Luke could have made it. He could have gone up there and done exactly the same thing. But I had more conviction about leaving him in and leaving a guy that's got that kind of confidence and has seen the pitching, has been in there every day for the most part, versus Connor Joe, who just got called up and has played in one game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally get it. And I think if you have that stance, that's fair, but don't be the
Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, I mean that to me is you got to be one or the other, and I just would encourage our texters to just check yourself on that. Check yourself on that. So, and we need to get you a T-shirt that says "I do not care."
Yeah,
when it comes to lefty righty.
Yeah,
do not care.
Well, it also depends on what the lineup's doing at the time. It's not an absolute for me because I think more often than not that is the right way to go. You got a tough lefty who gets brought in from the bullpen. All right, let me bring in my righty who's been playing at least. He's been seeing action out there. He's got a little bit of a track record so far this year. If I'm going to pull out my hottest bat, I better have a guy that I feel like is going to be a reasonable replacement and come out there, and I've got a lot of confidence he's going to do something. You don't really have that right now. You have him. You have Patrick Wisdom, who people were asking why didn't he get put in there. He's not an outfielder. You need somebody who could play in the outfield if you're pulling Raley. So Wisdom is not that guy. And Ref Schneider's out on paternity leave, so he's not available. He's still looking for his first hit. Right. So even if both those guys are available, I'm still going, yeah, I'm leaving Luke Raley in. I know the numbers tell you otherwise. I get it. I do not care. I'm with Mike McDonald. I do not care. All right, let's take two.
I think we have a new promo right there. That's got to play over and over. Intersperse Bob and Mike McDonald. We did not care. I do not care. We're going to go with that.
The whole build up to it, and then just dub Bob's voice in there.
We do have some MLB notes to get to. The Wall Street Journal reports the Padres are expected to be sold for an MLB record $3.9 billion. And then some sad news, unfortunately, out of the division. Angels' all-time hits leader Garrett Anderson has died at the age of 53.
That's incredibly sad. He was a hell of a player, Garrett Anderson. Remarkably quiet. I don't even think I know what his voice sounds like. He was just one of those guys you never really heard from, and it was just kind of a quiet assassin. He was a really consistent player. Came up with a huge hit for him in the series clinching game in 2002 when the Angels won the series under Mike Scioscia.
What a career, man.
Yeah, just a really consistent player. And by all accounts, a great guy. And again, he was super quiet. He was just known to be, you just didn't hear from him much. He was known to be that quiet guy, but you look at his numbers, just a ball player.
Well, 17 years in the league, and his lifetime batting average, 293.
Yeah.
I mean, just a phenomenal career. That's what every athlete wants.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I really love that I played in the NFL. It was great and everything, but if I could have been healthier, I mean, he posted, man. That's incredible.
And it's really, 53 years old, and to this point, I don't know if you've seen anything, Lefko. I've not seen a cause of death, but
it's. I think the Angels said they did not disclose it, so I think they purposely are trying to keep whatever it is, or maybe they're waiting until you inform family members, friends, whatnot. But no, there's no cause of death that's been announced.
So sad. Hell of a player, and by all accounts, a great person.
Some history made in the NFL earlier today. The Texans and defensive end Will Anderson have agreed to a 3-year, $150 million extension, $134 million guaranteed. He's now the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
3 years, check my math here, Dave. Is that $50 million a year?
$50 million.
Is it still 50?
You could do it a number of times, turn the numbers around, whatever you want.
$50 million a year. What do you think?
And I think, honestly, when you look at his numbers, so in 3 years, he's had 30 sacks. But it doesn't really explain who he is, I'll say that. He is a phenomenal edge rusher. Just incredibly athletic. I like to give out this praise. He's spoon-like.
That's a big compliment.
Yep, and the way he moves around the field, I mean, he is, and by all accounts, a really good person, just like JSN. You only give, that kind of money to a guy that you can trust, and just a guy that he can beat anybody. Yeah. Anybody in the NFL. So, yeah, he is a phenomenal player, but the sticker shock still hits me.
$50 million a year. Yeah, he is a hell of a player, though. No question about that. All right. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/Cyberknife Prostate. We'll get his thoughts on the road struggles of this team, who are they've lost 8 in a row on the road, this Mariner team, 1-8 on the road. So much to discuss with the voice of your Seattle Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith. He's going to join us next as we continue live from Victory Hall. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Bellevue Rare Coins. I'm really excited to be working with them again, and right now we're seeing the price of gold at all-time highs. And here's what that means for you. Items you haven't thought about in years can be worth thousands of dollars. Old jewelry, coin collections, gold watches, necklaces, pendants. It's really worth finding out what those items are worth during such a strong gold market. And even broken and used jewelry is more valuable than you think. The folks at Bellevue Rare Coins told me that they had a customer stop by because they heard an ad on the radio and said, hey, what the heck, let's just see what these items are worth. They walked out with thousands of dollars. Bellevue Rare Coins has expanded to Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma. It's a local business, established business, and they're known for honesty and no pressure evaluations that help you get the most for your valuables. And a lot of people don't realize how valuable some of these items can be, so it's worth stopping in to find out. You can find Bellevue Rare Coins in Bellevue, of course, also Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma, or go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consult today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First. You've heard me talk about them. PCF Construction Group. People come first. And if you've been dreaming of a new deck, well, now is the time to call PCF before the good weather arrives and their schedule gets all filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor space year-round no matter the weather. And for a limited time, get 50% off demolition costs. That's up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. You know, they designed and built our outdoor living space, and we loved it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, construction, they take time. So don't wait another day. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
Have a troublesome tree in need of removal? P&D Tree Service is up to the task. Local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, close quarters or land clearing, call P&D Tree. They'll get the job done safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees away from homes to help you save on home insurance. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever see a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeservice.com.
Mariners and Rangers tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
For 24 years, Sea Star Restaurant and Rom Bar has been Bellevue's and my go-to for fresh seasonal seafood. And my good friend, Chef John Howie, is behind every plate.
Hey, thanks, Brock. You know, springtime is the best time for fresh, wild Pacific Northwest salmon. At Sea Star, we go from Columbia River King, my personal favorite, to the Copper River King in May.
So whether it is a date night, whether it's a business dinner, or you're craving the very best wild salmon, go visit John Howie at Sea Star in Bellevue. Visit Sea Star in Bellevue.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from Victory Hall. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. And joining us here live on the set, one of our favorites. Last time we talked to him, it was over the phone, and I think we guilted him into coming here in person, Dave. I think it was.
It was on headset, to be clear. It was in a radio booth.
Okay.
The fidelity was exceptional.
Let's not get into the minutia.
Well, he had an escort this time.
Yeah, he had a bodyguard with him. He said, I got to get through the throngs of fans.
Yes,
I can't stop and sign everything.
Where are they?
Aaron Goldsmith is here with us, voice of your Seattle Mariners. How are you, man?
Great, guys. How you doing?
It's been a little rough, man. That was a rough road trip. There's no way to there's no way to paint that one up and go, well, hey, at least this happened. I mean, you did get some really good pitching in the first two games. You did score some runs in the second game.
Yep.
In the end, you got swept, and this is a team that's really struggled on the road out of the gates. I mean, we could hit a bunch of different things, but what just overall looking at what's happening on the road? Tough matchups, bad luck. What are you seeing?
Well, I'll preface this by saying, like, those are losses and you can't get them back. Like, let's just call it what it is. But I do think it's way too early to say, oh, wow, they got to change something on the road. This just isn't working. I mean, if you look at the Rangers series, for example, they ran up against 3 premier starting pitchers, and they didn't hit.
Yeah.
And now they have to run up against those same guys at home. So do it here, right?
Yeah.
It's your second look at them. And when you think about the Angels series that preceded that, they hit 3 home runs in a game, and all 3 of them got taken back, right? Like, that's when a guy robs 3 home runs in a game, you tip your cap. That's really bad luck, right? Especially in a game that they would have won with 2 of those home runs, right? And then in the Padres series, the Mariners did not play great baseball by any means, but in the second game, they played a great 8 innings.
Yeah, had another home run robbed.
Yeah, another 2. They've had 4 homers robbed on the road. And when you think back for the Mariners or any team for that matter, I mean, what's the league winning percentage when up by 4 runs going to the bottom of the 9th inning?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, you win 99.9% of those games essentially, and Munoz collapsed. The bullpen couldn't hold it, and you cough up what would have been a win, and you'd feel a little bit better, wouldn't you, if you'd won 1 out of 3?
Certainly.
Yeah, for sure. It's the sweeps feel bad. So again, I have to double down on the fact that those were losses, and you can't get them back. And now you got to try to find a way to restart a little momentum, and there's no turning back the hands of time. But at the same time, man, some pretty weird things happened on the road, whether it be matchups or the ball not bouncing your way. And I think just like the Mariners caught the Astros at the best time. I mean, they haven't seen the Astros at a better time in a decade than what they saw on the last homestand.
A diminished version.
Yes, they caught the Padres at a really rotten time. And, you know, sometimes it all evens out over the course of 6 months. And in my mind, it evened out over the last week when you look at the homestand and then the road trip in that regard.
Yeah, did we see 2 hits go off second base? Did that happen twice, or am I?
One they turned into an out.
One was an out, yeah. And then the other one, it was there, like you said, there was just some weird things that happened. But when Connor Joe was up at the plate, you said something about how, you know, righties have gotten to Morahan a little bit, and sure enough, those numbers play out. Bob doesn't care. He doesn't care.
You wanted Raley.
Yeah, I think at some time, I know what the numbers say.
Sure.
I 100%. I get analytics. I get what it tells you to do in this situation, but
you're more comfortable if you go with the hotter bat.
You don't have enough hot bats in that lineup, in my opinion, to pull the hottest bat out of the lineup and say, well, this is what we do here, because he does. I have more faith in his ability stepping into the box with his level of confidence that he has right now than I do Connor Joe, who's played in one game. And I'm not blaming him, but I don't like it in that situation. I think context matters. You can't just go absolute, here's what the numbers say, so that's what you do.
Well, can I read between the lines a little bit on what you're feeling? Because I understand where you're coming from.
And I said this before the game, by the way. This is not Monday morning quarterback.
I understand. I think maybe your tune changes a little bit if the option were better, if there were a better right-handed option. Mm-hmm. Is that fair? If you had a guy who
I would have felt better if it were a healthy Robles or something, but I still would have questioned it. I said it before. We were talking about it yesterday. Look, there aren't enough guys who are clicking right now, and this guy is. And I get sometimes the handedness thing, I think, just becomes an automatic decision in some cases. And that was a crucial situation. There's no guarantee. Raley could have gone up there and whiffed, and I would have taken it better. Not that they're catering to me. Dan's got to do what he thinks is best.
I mean, I will say to go against how you feel, it's a double whammy against Raley, right? You have a lefty who just annihilates lefties in Moorhone, and you have a left-handed hitter in Raley who does not have an ounce of a track record hitting left-handed pitching.
Yeah, he's got 2 ABs this year.
You're right. So those don't go in your favor there.
Right.
I think if you had a proven hot right-handed bat on the bench that you go to in that case, you and maybe other people listening feel better about that. But you have a guy who was just recently called up who hadn't had an at-bat in X number of days, and you have no track record with Connor Joe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody in the fan
or
base
Patrick
does.
Wisdom, who wasn't an option. He's not going to play in the outfield. So.
Right. And so I think I understood the move from the standpoint of just simply the platoon splits, but also from the standpoint of, hey, man, this is it. Like, once you get past Moorhone, then it's Adam, and then it's Miller. Mm-hmm. You got guys on base right now. The time is now. Yeah. Because the 9th inning, you have no chance. Yeah. in an era of the filthiest pitchers the game has ever seen as a collective whole, Miller is an outlier great.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's an automatic 3 outs. So this was your best chance, and Dan went with the platoon situation, which I understand because it's a guy that doesn't have a track record here and hasn't had many bats at all this year. But I will say that's his job.
Yeah.
That's his job to do. It's not Raley's job to do. I think that's how Dan, I haven't talked to Dan about it. That's how any manager would view it. And I think you're putting Luke Raley in a position where he has not succeeded historically to go have success against a guy who makes a living getting guys like that out. So I understand because of the options were not good. Mm-hmm. Let's be very clear about it. I think Dan clearly, obviously, went with just simply, this is what the numbers say, and this is how a platoon works, and I get that.
Well, Goldie, what about more opportunities for Luke Raley? Because that's the thing. It's been, I think, twice
this year. Yeah, he's batting 500.
Oh,
against lefties.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go.
He's 1 for 2.
That's what I build on right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we saw this happened to Dom Canzone last year. Dom was hot. He earned more at-bats, and that eventually led him to earn more at-bats left on left. And off the top of my head, I want to say he hit, it began with a 3 last year that he hit against lefties, which was a real that was a breakout season for him in that regard. That is not something that he had historically done. So I think in this case, a lefty to earn more at-bats against lefty pitching, kind of two things have to go together at one time. One is that lefty hitter has to be hot, right? He has to prove the trust. And then also you need to have some guys in the lineup that aren't going great, that you say, you know what, it's worth the upside of trying it, even though it goes against the splits, to see if this guy can carry it. And the Mariners have a track record of at least a guy last year in Canzone. Now, that was later in the year. I don't know.
276 last year. 368 on base versus lefty.
Say it again?
Canzone.
For Canzone?
Yeah.
What was he, 276?
Yeah.
All right, pretty close. I mean, that's...
better on base than right-handed versus righties.
What the Mariners really need is they need Rob Refsnyder to be Rob Refsnyder. and then this doesn't become a thing. No, congrats to him. He had a baby. He's with his wife. Like, that's what he should be doing.
Where are his priorities at? I mean, they needed him.
The last thing I'm doing is say, like, where's Rob Refsnyder? But if Rob Refsnyder was at the game, he's the one taking that at-bat. Right. And he has not gotten a hit yet with the Mariners, but over the last 2-ish, 3-ish years, he's been one of the best on-base hitters in baseball, righties against lefties, right-handed hitters against lefty pitching. So I think you believe in the track record of Refsnyder, and you have to keep giving him chances once he comes back.
Let's talk about what's been good with this team, and that's been remove Luis Castillo from this, the rotation.
Sure.
The rotation has been really good, and we saw a really good performance out of Logan Gilbert his last time out. The first two were solid, not awesome, but I mean, Kirby looks like he's back.
Yep.
Wu looks like he's,
Same
in
guy.
my opinion, he's still your ace. And then Emerson Hancock has just been so fun to watch, and I feel like, I think I told you this before, but I feel like I've given him short shrift, going, well, just give me 5 and 3. Just give me 5. This guy's the number 6 overall pick. This is a guy who came in with expectation, and maybe he's just slower to get there, but he's, at this point, living up to his draft status, his draft position, and potentially putting the team in an interesting situation when Bryce Miller is healthy. But just give me your thoughts on the rotation as a whole.
Well, it's funny. The Mariners try to keep it very simple on the mound, right? Their pitching philosophy. And when you look at what has made the Mariners successful this year, especially in the rotation and the bullpen, too, in a large part, the bullpen's been great. It's just all the same boring things that they've preached and pounded for 5, 6, 7 years. A ton of first pitch strikes. They're not walking hitters. They're attacking with their fastballs, right? They're getting swings and misses. They're able to get off the plate and expand. Like, these are all the just bedrock concepts that the Mariners have been putting their flag on for as long as we can remember in this era of great Mariner pitching. And it just so happens that they're almost all healthy, referencing Bryce Miller, and they're all executing that by and large so far through the first few weeks of the season. And for Hancock, I'll defend your old narrative on Hancock. I mean, he's a different guy now than he was when you were thinking those things about him.
Yeah.
Like, give me 5 and keep me in the game, right?
Yeah.
He's now throwing 95 to 97.
Yep.
He is now getting swings and misses. He's not a sinker changeup guy. He's a four-seamer sweeper guy. And the sweeper, both the righties to get it away to a righty and to back foot it to a lefty, it's filthy.
Yeah.
It's a real swing and miss pitch. I'm so happy for him. I'm sure you guys have had a chance to spend some time with him. I mean, he's an elite human being.
Yeah.
Elite human. And you really, obviously, in all walks of life, want to see people like that succeed. And for a guy who, I don't know how much pressure he carries being the 6th overall pick, but for a guy who you look around in this rotation, and for the last few years, he's saying, well, I'm the 5th best guy here. And I was the 6th overall pick in the draft. And now he can put his chest out a little bit and say, you know what, I'm helping this rotation in a major way. And he's been an anchor of the rotation so far through the first 3 weeks of the season. Couldn't be happier for that guy.
Speaking of superior human beings, Andres Munoz.
Yes,
just
elite.
A great elite, yes.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, it was like he was taxed a little bit at the end of last year, and now it's sort of seems like it's not enough outings for him, and he's trying to find himself. He's a little bit lost right now, but you know, the fact that he's such a good person and you know him and everything, you don't worry about him as much. But where are you with Andres? Where do you think he is?
Well, he needs to figure something out, and he knows that better than anybody. It's 3 in a row where he hasn't been able to command it. Now, let's not confuse Andres Munoz with George Kirby, right? Munoz has never been an elite strike thrower. That's not what he is or how he does it. He's obviously a almost triple-digit guy with a wipeout slider, and he gets a lot of chase with that. But he just hasn't been able to locate the slider how he wants it. And he talked after the game, I'm sure you heard, about him not feeling like the grip is right on that pitch. He also, I found it interesting, and I don't know how much there is to this. He had hardly thrown his two-seam fastball at all prior to his last appearance against the Padres. And then in his last time out, he threw it a ton. He was running it in on righties. The Tatis at bat in particular stands out to me. So I don't know if that's a way that he thinks he can kind of get back on track. It was a clear pivot for him in that outing, I thought, an outing that obviously did not end well for him. I think for a guy like him, whether you're talking about Munoz or you're talking about Julio or Cal, you trust the track record, you trust the stuff, and you trust that even the game's greats who have had that job, that role over the last 100 years have had 3-game spurts where it hasn't gone well. To his credit, he's been able to get out of it until this last time, by and large. So something needs to happen, and I thought it was a good move for the Mariners. I know a lot of people get upset when closers pitch in non-save roles.
Yeah.
You know, I can't speak to what it's like, but the gist is the emotion, the intensity, the adrenaline is not the same. I thought to put Munoz in there up by 4 was not a soft landing, but it was a lower stress environment to iron some things out and try to get back on track for obviously his next outing, which you would assume would be a safe situation. To me, that was the mindset for Dan and Pete Woodworth, to bring him in there up by 4. Hey, there is some wiggle room here. If he has a walk or two, he's got 4 runs instead of 3. I like the mindset. It obviously didn't work out.
What would be your approach? And listen, they obviously know more about where he is mentally speaking. Like, hey, he said, I need to find myself. Okay, is he talking about just the slider? Or is he talking about just I don't feel right in general? They know more than we do. But hypothetically, they get into a save situation tonight. You're up by a run in the 9th inning. Do you run him back out and say, you're my guy, we're showing that confidence? Or do you go, hey, Brash, tonight it's your job. We're going to wait until he's feeling like he found himself?
I go Cooper Criswell in a heartbeat.
I don't think you do.
I think my answer to that is I have no idea. And that's because only those people, whether it's Dan or Pete Woodworth or Adam Bernero, former Major League pitcher who's the Mariners mental skills coach, who's in the dugout every night, who I'm sure has talked with Munoz, not just this year, but historically. He works with a lot of the pitchers. Only they know where he's at, and only they know if, okay, choose your own adventure. If you pull him from the closer role even for a night, what does that do to him?
Right.
What does that do to shake his confidence? I don't know the answer to that. Versus his confidence has been rocked, but you're going to put him back in the saddle and say, hey, you're our guy, man. You're Andres Munoz. You're one of the elite closers in the game. Go seal a win for us. Here's the ball. Like, which one will he respond best to? I don't know. They do, and we'll find out.
Hey, Brendan Donovan, tell us where you think he's at. He is so fun to watch. But, he started off a little bit rough, but you got a chance to talk to him.
Are you referring defensively?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Because offensively,
he's been great
fantastic.
all the time,
Yeah.
Well, I think Donovan has been as advertised, if not more, right? His overall makeup is what all 30 teams would crave. Every team in baseball wants Brendan Donovan. Every team in baseball wants Cal Raleigh, right? How many guys like that can you have in your clubhouse? You got 26 on the roster. How many does every team want? And every team would want Brendan Donovan, not just because of what he brings you on the field, but what he brings you in the clubhouse. I think there's a quiet, calm intensity with Brendan Donovan that has a nice fit on this team. What he has done at the plate has been pretty awesome. I mean, for a guy who had never been in another organization in his career, was drafted and developed by St. Louis, came up with them, had some obviously very good years, to then go halfway across the country, brand new organization, knowing very few people, if hardly any, and just it's like there's never been a change, right? I can't speak to how difficult that must be, but it can't be easy, right? We see all the time players make kind of drastic changes like that. Think Jorge Polanco. He was a lifelong Twin. He came here and was like, there's some adjustments to be made here for a variety of kind of life and baseball things collectively. So for Donovan just to hit the ground running and be an absolute catalyst in not only a premium defensive position, but at a key spot of the lineup at the top of the order has been pretty remarkable. And I think it's going to be a work in progress at third. I think we've already seen improvement. It was a rough first homestand for him. And I'm sure you guys heard it. He beat himself up, right? I mean, he was not easy on himself, but I think he has a veteran presence and mindset that even when he commits an error or 2 errors in 4 games or whatever it was, that you trust he can wake up the next day flush and move on. And that's what you have to have. Because even he said it in spring training. There's one thing I'll always remember. He said, what makes a big leaguer is being able to show up to the ballpark every day exactly the same.
Be the same guy.
Be the same guy, regardless of what happened last night, last week, good or bad, right? And that's one of the many things that I think makes him a really elite player.
Yeah, I would say he's better than advertised at the plate.
For sure.
I mean, he's been fantastic. You can't get picked off first. Can't make outs on the base pass, for the love of God, guys. We've seen it already a couple of times this year. You're not clicking well enough to allow that to overcome that. We're talking about the rotation and how good they've been. The outlier is Luis. He was phenomenal in game one.
Yeah, great.
His first start of the year, fantastic. Next two, not good. Last night started out really rough. He reined it back in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
I don't know how to feel about it. He's not. I don't expect him to be Luis of 27 years old. He doesn't have 98, there anymore. He's a different pitcher. Are we seeing the age, or are we just seeing, hey, this is a slow start for him? He doesn't. I don't feel comfortable. He's the one guy I'm like, I have no idea what we're going to get from him.
Because to be fair, it's been 3 disappointing starts in a row.
Yeah.
Right? 3 of the 4. I think everybody has been waiting for the shoe to drop for Luis Castillo for like the last 2 years. Right? Every year in April, it's, is this the year? And he wasn't sitting 97, but he hit 97 a lot. 96, 97. Now, there were 93s and 94s in there, but he can still rush it home when he needs to. The issue last night was he just didn't have a slider. Mm-hmm. And unlike so many of these pitchers now, and some of them are in the Mariners rotation who are 5, 6, 7 pitch repertoire guys, Castillo is the same guy every year. He's 4 pitches. It's a fastball, it's a 4-seamer, a 2-seamer, a slider, and a change. Mm-hmm. And the change he doesn't throw very much. He threw it more yesterday because he had to. He was even throwing it a bunch to righties. So he has to have the slider. Right? I would imagine it has to help his fastballs play up. It allows him to have, especially to a right-handed hitter, you can run a 2-seamer in, you can run a 4-seamer up, you can run a slider away. Right? You can really mess with him with just those 3 pitches, and he's had historically good command of them. He just has to get that slider back. That, to me, was, of the 3 starts that you referenced in a row that he has struggled, yesterday was the first one where, like in the first or second inning, you're like, well, this is it. Like, this is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, this has to be. And he wasn't, although he was not able to necessarily find the slider like he wanted to, I was pretty impressed he was able to get through 5, because it looked like this is going to be another 3 1/3, 3 2/3.
Yeah.
Long day for the bullpen.
Goldie, we were down, we interviewed John Schneider yesterday, and he brought in the equipment manager, Eric Kennedy, and he's kind of the finger on the pulse guy in the locker room and everything. And he stayed after. We talked for probably 20 minutes about how many great dudes there are on that team. And guys like Witherspoon, who are superstars that are there on day one, as far as the training and everything. Is this, I feel kind of the same thing in this clubhouse. Is this the best team that you've been around as far as like personalities and character and things like that?
Yeah, and I've been saying that for like the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, it's
been true, though.
It
gets better every year.
And it's not just the 26 on the roster. It's kind of like all the satellite people as well. The Mariners have done a truly remarkable job of finding quality people and quality baseball players and quality coaches. And they had to reload the coaching staff. They really got poached after last year's run, and they've done that incredibly well also. It's something that in all seriousness, it is something that Gary Hill and I talk about every once in a while. After we do this thing where probably like once a road trip, we'll sit down, we'll bring the recording gear and headsets, and we'll go in the dugout, and we'll have like a 20 to 25 minute long form interview with a player or a coach. And it's a way to kind of get out of the clubhouse, less distractions. The player feels a little more free to talk. We're not holding a microphone in their face, which I think kind of like frees them up a little bit too. And we've done this dating back to Paul Sewald. He was the first guy we ever did this with. So years ago.
He's great.
He's awesome, right?
Yeah.
And we go for quite a while. And after every one of them, the player, we shake hands, they go back to the clubhouse, and Gary and I look at each other and go, that was awesome. Like, that was so good. And we talk about so much stuff besides just baseball, obviously. And so when we get done with these every so often, we say, we kind of do a recap of the interview, right? And we're just like, these guys are incredible, man. 20 years from now, we're going to get this bum clubhouse with a bunch of guys that nobody wants to be around maybe, but man, it's been a golden era of just human beings that have been in that uniform in recent years. And I'm happy to hear that the same way for the Seahawks.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the winning formula.
It has to be, right? I mean, you can speak to that.
Yeah, and when we get all the time, we'll talk about, oh, wow, what a great dude. Because, with the Mariners, and we talked to Logan and Cal and everything, and afterwards, what a great dude. And people, I don't care if he's a great dude. It matters. It absolutely.
Yeah, I understand the snark from a fan base. Like if somebody gives up 5 home runs, nobody cares that they give money to charity, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, whatever, man. Like, don't cough up 5.
Yeah.
But in terms of a cohesion and a culture, it would have to be so hard to get 26 people and coaches rowing in the same direction if you don't all have a similar North Star, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have some type of alignment there, and the Mariners, and it sounds like the Seahawks as well, certainly have that.
By the way, are you as disappointed as I am that Alex Mayer quit on the hair growing? He was going to grow it out. He told me that in the clubhouse the other night. He's going to grow it out, and now I see him with a freshly shorn head of hair.
Yeah, we had the fro going. Well, he won't find a barber in Seattle. Alex Mayer 34 is his handle on Twitter. All right, if you're a barber listening and you can give my man some kind of discount, okay, like he'll give you some stats and he'll be great conversation for his
definitely
for his 30-minute haircut. But Alex Mayer 34, hook my man up. Let's find a barber. Find a barber in West Seattle would be great. Somewhere,
anywhere. Where's he going for haircuts now? Where are you traveling to?
He got a haircut in San Diego, and I was like, oh. When are you going to go there again? Next year? Like, we need to find now that he actually has put in some care, he's in a very serious relationship.
That's right. Yeah.
So now that he actually has some care about his appearance, let's get this consistent. We need to get on every 2-week plan. Okay. The first one needs to be like, let's just take care of him, and then we'll get on he'll pay. I promise.
I've never seen Alex this red.
I know. He's really appreciating I brought it up.
Alex is a beauty. Alex Mayer is the absolute best at what he does.
He's amazing.
We love Alex.
Incredible.
Love him, man.
And his hair is only getting better. But he needs help.
I thought he was going to commit to growing it out. We were talking about it, and then here he is, looking like he always does. Hell of a guy, though. He's part of that great culture.
He is. Yeah, honestly, he is.
Yeah, Goldie, we love you, man. We appreciate the time, and look forward to hearing you tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. There's Aaron Goldsmith, voice of your Seattle Mariners. Coming up, we'll see if this man of experience can help with what ails this Mariner team. Paul Moyer is going to join us next as we continue live from Victory Hall. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
After reaching the NFL's mountaintop,
the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The work continues for the Seahawks to keep the foundation strong. It's the 2026 NFL Draft. Next Thursday, April 23rd. Only Seattle Sports begins its first-round draft coverage with a reigning NFL Executive of the Year.
Who are the real Seahawks?
The John Schneider Show at 4 p.m. with Brock Hewitt, Michael Bumpus, Steve Wyman, and host Bob Stelton live until 9 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
At Big Trees, you don't have to shop alone. Certified arborists are available to help you choose the right trees for your yard. Plus, each tree Big Trees installs offers a 1-year warranty and a free aftercare visit from our board-certified arborists. Come visit the nursery, no appointment necessary, and see our wide selection of species. You'll find the perfect fit for your landscape needs at Big Trees in Snohomish, or visit us online at bigtreesupply.com.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
If
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At quarterback, calling the right play could change the whole game. And when your car breaks down, same idea. Make the right call before the big repair bill hits. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. Plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, and rental car options, all to keep your drive alive. Look, breakdowns happen, but choosing CarShield, that's the easiest call you'll make all day.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At quarterback, calling the right play could change the whole game. And when your car breaks down, same idea. Make the right call before the big repair bill hits. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. Plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, and rental car options, all to keep your drive alive. Look, breakdowns happen, but choosing CarShield, that's the easiest call you'll make all day.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get back to it tonight, trying to get themselves back in the win column. They welcome the Texas Rangers to town, and they are going to send Logan Gilbert to the hill. He'll face off against Jacob deGrom, a rematch of the previous series. So we'll see what the Mariners can get done. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, sad news in the world of baseball. Garrett Anderson, the multi-talented outfielder who became the Angels' career hits leader and led the team to its only World Series title back in 2002, has died at the age of 53 years old. The team made that announcement today. No cause of death has been given.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
This is the moment many wait for.
The most entertaining.
A man of wisdom, a man of experience, Dave.
The most informative.
To bring light to a dark subject. To bring positivity to a negative world.
The incredible Paul Moyer.
Moyer out. You know, Bob, the other day I got a notification that Paul Moyer was calling me. Yeah. I was thrilled, and I was like texting him back, and I said, hey, Moyer, can I call you later? And he just says, butt dialed. And I was so disappointed. I thought, oh, man, Paul's calling me.
Very deflating.
He probably wants some advice or some information or something from me.
Deflating, no. I would say,
it
right?
Was. It very much was.
Well, luckily, we've got him here, so you can talk to him here, Dave. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Paul, would you call Dave? Would you make him feel wanted? Make him feel like you like him?
If I look at our texts and the number of times I call Dave compared to Dave calling me, it is true, my deflated butt.
That's not what we were talking about.
At least, well, you know, Dave, we used to have these big behinds that have gotten smaller. At least my butt was thinking about you, Dave. All right.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that's not a compliment.
That didn't come out right. Forget that. Let's move on.
That doesn't feel like a win.
I think we just lost Lefko. Lefko liked that one.
That doesn't feel like a win. Paul, let's talk about this Mariner team, because anytime things go poorly, we always think about the abandoned boys and what that conversation must be like. Tell us what the level of concern, panic, anger, frustration. Where's the group at with how things went on that road trip to San Diego?
A little of all of it right now. I think the Mariners are trying to find what their identity is. You would think it would be pretty clear from last year. The bullpen's not bad. If you look at their numbers, you start looking at individual numbers, not bad. But we're having, like one guy a game, have a bad inning at times, but not bad. The Munoz game two nights ago, that was crushing. Just crushing. But I think there is concern. I think the concern is, you go and look at last year, and we talked about it a week ago, that the Mariners actually were about the same or had a slightly better record than a year ago. Well, they don't now. No, it's only by 2 games. But they finished April 16-9, or they went April 16-9 last year. We already have 9 losses this year in April. And so, and that doesn't mean they can't run the table here the rest of the way and start pulling away from people. But I just think there's concern. And, we got a 209 batting average again. We're striking out a lot. We're living only with the home runs to driving runs. It feels that same thing that first half of last year. So there's concerns, mainly because I think the West is just, not that somebody's going to run away from this. I don't think the Rangers are going to run away. But the A's are better. The Angels are better. The Rangers are better. Houston's got some problems, obviously, with their pitching staff. So I just think there's concerns there. Is this who we are? And it might be. Again, I think the happy part is, I am big in the run differential. You look at the Seahawks last year, they were the number 1 point differential in the league, and they won the Super Bowl. We've still got a positive run differential this year. We've just, we're 2-6 and 1 run games. But man, there's just a lot of stats that make me nervous. We've only had 10 stolen bases, 5 by Randy. Last year, we were getting Naylor and a bunch of guys were stealing. Julio. Home runs. They're down. Strikeouts are still high. So there's just a lot of stats that make you nervous. It's too early, to panic. And we're only 2.5 games back. We sweep the Rangers, and hopefully the A's lose a couple. We can be in first place with a losing record. But yeah, I thought we'd have a much better start to the year than we have.
Yeah, you play the NL West. It's ridiculous. And the Padres, I don't know how you felt coming out of that, and I'm not trying to make excuses, Paul, but, they have some really good players. That Laureano was a total pest. You just go up and down the linemen, the lineup. Sorry, I'm trying to get that word out. Too. But yeah, it's pretty incredible, and I think they have the second most wins in Major League Baseball. How much do you? Because I don't know. I just thought San Diego looks like they're a really well put together team.
They have superstars on that team. Mariners have really good players, obviously. Cal last year, and I think Julio's a superstar. He might be a notch below it. But look, our pitching's been good. We've had a few games where it hasn't. It's just right now they have to be so on top of it. We have to really hold teams down, and that's a concern. But when and Dave, you're right. Padres are good. And matter of fact, if you look at our schedule, it's been a tough schedule. Cleveland's a good team. Yankees are good. Padres are good. Rangers. We played some good teams so far, but Bueller, and he was struggling, and I don't know if he had 9 or 10 strikeouts. I didn't look at his stat line from it, but he's having the best game he's had this year. I mean, it just happens a lot against the Mariners. So those are my concerns. I mean, obviously you got a chance to win one game 2 nights ago. Last night, I mean, that one inning, again, I thought Luis Castillo actually pitched pretty well. If he got some help, Naylor, uncharacteristic, defensive blunders there that really hurt that inning. But, we just got to start finding ways to win these closer games, not have teams run away from us early. This is a big series. You can't have the Rangers sweep you. That's for sure. You're at home, and 2 of 3 for sure. It's nice to get a sweep.
Yeah, I've got a little more concern about Castillo than maybe you do. I mean, that's 3 starts in a row where he hasn't been sharp. They touched him up. He's the one that got charged with a throwing error on that play, so it kind of saved his ERA because the runs that scored counted as unearned runs. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of he committed the error, so his ERA didn't take the hit. But we saw him getting touched up one hit after another, and he did. I'll give him credit. He did dial it back in, but at this point, he's a little different pitcher than he's been in the past, and he's got to have all of his pitches working in order for him to be effective, and he just doesn't right now. We've been talking about, what do you do when Bryce Miller comes back? What do you do with Hancock? What do you do with Hancock? Well, at this point, I'm leaving Hancock there, and if Bryce Miller's ready to start, I hope Luis Castillo has found his rhythm, because he would be the one I'd be looking at going, all right, if I got to find a spot, that might be his spot.
Well, that's a tough one. I'd push back on you, too, on Luis Castillo last night. I mean, there was a double play that was there. It doesn't show up, and there was just, he had the one bad inning. I mean, it was one, and that happens to him. I mean, we've had him now for, 3 or 4 years. It's kind of his MO at times. If he can stay away from the big inning early, he ends up having pretty good production. Talking about Castillo, but he's 21, 22, 23 million. However they play that thing out on his contract for this year. I mean, where are you putting him? You're not putting him in the bullpen, I wouldn't think. Those are tough decisions. Look, Castillo is a veteran guy. He's going to figure it out. He's going to always keep you in the game, which I thought he did yesterday. But, I don't know. I mean, Bryce Miller comes back, and I'm not pulling Hancock. There's 3 guys that now look really good. And if you told me right now who's the guy that you think's throwing the best, I think it's Hancock. I mean, he's got 4. Yeah, even Wu. I mean, the thing that bothers – again, I don't know if it bothers me about Wu. I love that he is fiery, kind of that internal fiery. But, when things go south for him, he gets frustrated. And I think he loses focus. I think that comes with maturity still. Yeah, Wu, Kirby. I mean, those 3 have been pretty consistent all year. Their numbers look good. Gilbert, I like Gilbert. He had, I think, the one bad game. And tonight's a big one. He's got DeGrom. I mean, you're the number 1 guy that you started the season. This is a big game on Friday night for him.
All right, Paul, we've been beating this one to death, but what did you think of the move with Connor Joe? Are you a strict righty-lefty guy, or are you go with the hot bat?
No, I actually, that was one of our Bandon Boy ones. I go, no. First of all, and I'm going to draw a blank on the kid. It's not even a kid. He's older, but the guy they brought from AAA.
Connor Joe?
No. The other
Patrick
guy.
Wisdom?
Yeah, thank you. The reason why I wanted him, if we're going to make that move there to pinch hit for a lefty, is he's gotten a lot of at-bats in AAA. So, and those guys they're throwing pretty hard at AAA. And, you got Joe, I think he had 6 at-bats, 4 at-bats. I mean, he hasn't hardly hit it at all. I just thought that's a tough situation for him at that point. I didn't like it. And here's the other thing I don't like. I don't like pulling out the lefty, not in the 6th inning, 5th inning. I go, very few teams have left-handed relief pitchers. So now I've got Garver going up against righties, in crunch time in the 8th and 9th inning. Again, those are things that, it's fun about baseball because we're always going to second guess a manager. But no, I don't like it. And I still don't like Donovan. make him our leadoff hitter. I don't even care if it's a lefty. I think he's earned that right. He's proved it. I beat that one to death too. Sometimes you just, as a player, you just want consistency and a rhythm. And yeah, I thought there was a couple of moves that I didn't love, but Dan's also earned the right to have me second guess and be wrong.
Well, I don't think you're wrong, because I was advocating prior to the game. We were talking about the handedness moves, and I didn't want to see them pull a hot bat because your lineup just isn't clicking well enough to take out your hot bat. I'd have more confidence in Raley up there versus pretty much anybody they've got on the bench. I mean, Wisdom, I get they didn't put him because he's not going to play outfield. They had to put somebody in that's going to play the outfield, and that's Connor Joe. But even if Ref Snyder's there, he has yet to come up with a hit. I know his history says he crushes lefties, and that has not been the case, but he's out on paternity leave. So, I don't know. Look, Raley could have gone up there and whiffed and looked terrible, but I still would have been more in favor of the guy who's got confidence stepping into the box, who's been lighting it up. And these guys, the guys you're platooning, they're not going to get any better not facing lefties. I mean,
right.
wouldn't it be better to have these guys facing lefties and maybe, developing that skill set or developing that rhythm against lefties?
Yeah, and that was a tough lefty anyways. I mean, that guy he was pumping it up pretty good. And the reason why I was thinking, that if you were to, bring in Wisdom on that one, is fine. You want to put someone else out in the outfield, you can still make that defensive change too. But wasn't it bases loaded at the time? I mean, it's bases loaded. I mean, this is I want the guy who gives me the best chance for a hit at that point. If I'm going to pull Raley, who's, we've got 3 or 4 guys right now that, got good, really 3 good numbers. And I just go, I'm not pulling him out. I'm not pulling him out in that. It's too early still in the game. And it was 4-2 bases loaded, I believe, at the time. It was just too much baseball for me. And I knew we were going to have some righties in the bullpen at the end. And now you're going righty. You did it with Garver. Yeah, I didn't love that one.
All right, Paul, I'm sure that you have a full 7-round mock draft, Paul Moyer's mock draft, coming up here next weekend. What are your thoughts as far as them either trading back and getting more, mid-round picks, or what do you think getting any clear idea on what they're going to do?
Dave, since we only have 4 picks, the first, second, third, and sixth, I only did a 4-round mock draft.
Okay.
For me. Look, I'm getting excited for it because the draft's fun. As a matter of fact, I hope someday we get the opportunity to host that here in Seattle. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean,
yeah.
And by the way, where do you think they would do it?
Where they do it?
Maybe
at
the base of the Space Needle. Maybe
they do it there, but is there enough room for the crowds that develop? I don't
know. Get a lot of people. That's a good question.
Well, you also probably need to have it covered, right? So they're going to have to build something. Maybe at Safeco Field. I don't know. That's a little weird that we're going to do it at a baseball field, but
that's T-Mobile. Come on, Paul.
Would I say Safeco?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, T-Mobile. Mike. Look back on at Safeco, man. We won 116 games. No. But T-Mobile, that would be interesting, though. Just where would they have it where they could host that many people, still have it be covered, but also a great place for people to walk around and, hit the restaurants and bars. And I just think it would be so much fun. I know those are tough. I think they're already the next 2 years. It's already laid out, and I want to say somebody else already made a claim or is making a claim for it in 2028 or so. But back to the draft, look, I think this one is just we're in such a great position because we really don't have a need. I mean, when I mean it, last year we had to get a left guard, or a guard in play. I think running back, is certainly something that we're going to want to have. There's not a lot of ones there that may fall to that first round that we have. And I'm not sure I'd really want to take a running back in the first round. I think what John will do is, because we don't have necessary need, is I'm going to find the very best football player at that 36 or second pick if we stay there. I think you're going to find a running back. I mean, you got to. And I actually, I like the kid Coleman. I've been watching him from the University of Washington. Man, I tell you what, I mean, if you could truly get him in the third round or something, man, he great out of the backfield. He makes people miss. He's hard to get down. For a guy who's 5'8", he's a tough running back. He can make every cut. And it just goes to show you, he doesn't have a first-round grade. And I know, and it's just, there's a lot of good football players out there. You don't have to always grab them the first, second round. That's why John and his group does such a good job of finding guys later in the draft. But look, to me, of the two needs that we want to get, and it's not necessarily, we have to, but I think corner and running back are the two. And those are the two that I'm focusing on right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on the we don't have that pressing need. Dave and I were talking about that yesterday, that they're kind of in this position where, yeah, you certainly want some depth and you want maybe get a little more youth to address some spots that are aging on the team, but you don't have that urgent, what do we do here? What do we do here? Yeah, you got to find a corner, you got to find a running back. But I feel like they're in a great position. But I'm wondering, Paul, the seems like the overwhelming feeling about this draft is it's just not great in terms of talent. There's just not a ton of, top-notch talent by all the estimations of the experts out there. And if that is true, what would you like to see them do? Is this the draft where you package those picks and try to move up perhaps and do something they don't normally do? Or do you try to accumulate more bites at the apple in a draft that isn't thought to be that great? So is it going to be, money well spent or picks well spent if you're just collecting guys that aren't going to be stars or even really good players? How do you approach it if that ends up being true, that it's just not a really talent-laden draft?
Yeah, I would love to sit and talk with one of your expert people that do this draft all the time. What does that really mean? Does it mean that there's only 15 first-round grades compared to maybe a great draft where there's 40? So I don't really know what that means. Does that mean in the third round they're not as good of players? I don't know how to make that statistically in my brain make sense, right? And what I would say is, okay, maybe we're looking at running back. They've got 2, maybe 3 running backs with a first round grade. In different years, maybe there's 6 of those that, all of a sudden you can pick up in the second or third round because of the position. But you're going to find really good football players. And when I'm watching, again, I've been watching some of the running backs, this Mike Washington kid from Arkansas. This guy's explosive. He's got size. I don't know if he's the kind of running back that the Seahawks would get because of his style. But I'm listening. There's so many good football players out there. We're going to get somebody great. I don't think you're going to package and move up. We just don't have enough picks. You still need players to draft. And put on this roster. I would see us probably picking up 1, or 2. But at the same time, guys, I'm talking in circles here. We don't need a lot of players. So if I can get the guys I want in the first, second, third round, I'm staying there. And then great, maybe, we work the free agency world, which, by the way, because there's only 7 rounds, you find great free agents. I mean, I read Brock Heward's piece. I know we got to run here. And he was talking about Connor O'Toole. I loved that guy last year in preseason. Loved him. He's from Utah. I mean, he's got pass rush ability. And so we're going to find guys like this. So my thing is, let's just go find the best players. We do need a corner and a running back. So of those best players, let's make sure we find one.
Paul, as always, great stuff. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk again next week.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great night.
Butt dial me soon, okay?
You got it, buddy.
All right, bud.
There's Paul Moyer. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, click on our picture. It'll be right there waiting for you. Don't forget to click subscribe. It's totally free. And that way you don't have to worry about remembering. It just shows up for you every day. Meanwhile, there's good news and bad news when it comes to the AL West. We'll get into that coming up next. Live from Victory Hall, it's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Imagine all that can happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes are going to come out, but what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price never changed for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most. That finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. You get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices and no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings attached. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi, all with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions do apply. Select plans only.
The road to riches starts at Silver Reef. This April is your chance to win $100,000 in cash, plus a 26 Mercedes-Benz. Have some fun in the fast lane every Saturday night with hourly drawings from 5 to 9 p.m. Join us April 25th at 10 p.m. for the guaranteed grand prize car giveaway. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Mariners and Rangers tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America and a member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we perform an 18-point maintenance check with every oil change to help make sure you're good to go.
And?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Huh. Wonder why the dealership isn't that easy.
Well, we'd let you know if we found something in our check.
Oh, great. That was easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, thorough, and honest. Come with no charge.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Continue live at Victory Hall. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. The text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We do have mean text coming up today at 5:15. How are they doing so far, Lefko?
How are they doing? I have no hope, no faith. No faith in those Morahans. Morahans.
Yeah, we got a new one there. Not Morans.
No, Morans still. Morans and Morahans.
Morahans.
Are they slow to get things going here? Is that
They're
what's happening?
non-existent. Their brain cells haven't sparked to life yet. You know,
Really?
you try to make fire, and you try to rub
two
sticks together. Yeah.
No spark.
It's going as well as that.
You're going to get a bleep you Lefko out of this.
I wish they were that bright.
Wow. All right. 866-979-3776. You got mean text coming up at 5:15. So have at it. Lefko giving you some ammo there. Meanwhile, 6 games here at home that are crucial against your division. You got the Rangers coming in for a rematch series, and you get the A's for the very first time. Based on what we've seen out of this team, what's a reasonable expectation when it comes to wins? Is it 4 of 6, 3 of 6? Is that expecting too much? What do you think?
You got to split. And I just think it just seems like it's going to be a slow repair. I mean, you know, we have Andres Munoz saying, I'm lost, basically.
Yeah, he's trying to find himself.
Trying to find himself. Yeah, and, you know, you could probably say the same thing about Naylor and Cal Raleigh at the plate. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's going to be a quick recovery necessarily, but this team is just not playing up to their ability. The only thing I would say, though, and this is, you know, obviously an excuse, but I just think the Padres are going to be a really interesting team this year. They're very good, I think. And I think is it Mason Miller?
Yes.
I mean, that guy is phenomenal.
Yes, he's been phenomenal.
The
A's got a boatload in exchange for him, but I'm sure there are times they're wishing they had him. They're playing fine. I mean, they're one of the 2 teams in this division that are over 500. They're tied with the Rangers at 10-9. But
you know, obviously, getting swept by Texas on the road is much worse than getting swept by the Padres on the road. So, I think I'm not going to worry too much about this one, but this will be a very indicative game of where they're at right now for, you know, the first couple months because – you know, would they score 3 runs against the Rangers
in the first 2 games
in the series there?
They got shut out in the third one where they had 2 total hits.
Yeah, just brutal. And you know, if you look at the Rangers' pitching numbers, I mean, they're number 5 in ERA, but you know, they don't blow you away. They're not as good as our staff. So yeah, I just think this one is really important that they play well.
Yeah, it's hugely important. I think just for their mental well-being, certainly for the fan base to get people, you know, people are agitated right now. People they don't know what to think about this team. Some have drawn hard and fast conclusions, and last year was an aberration, and this is who they really are. I'm nowhere near that. I'm frustrated like everybody else. Look, I'm rolling around on the floor, writhing, throwing out expletives.
Writhing in pain.
I'm living and dying with this team the way all of you are. So it may be more extreme, but you do keep it in perspective. It's a horrible start. This is not what anybody anticipated, wanted, expected. Doesn't mean the season's over and, oh, boy, what a disaster this team is. We'll see what happens. I still think this is a playoff team. This is a team that's going to be in the postseason. Maybe I'll end up being wrong. And then if that's the case, we'll have a lot to analyze and what went wrong. Where could they have been better? What was in their control? What wasn't? What was Dan's role in this whole thing? So, I'm not going to get into that this early into the season, though. By the end of this homestand, they can be in first place. We could be singing a completely different song here. So I think, for me, I look at a split of the 6 games, whichever 6 they are, whichever, the split being the minimum. That should be the bare minimum. And even that I'll feel a little, it's fine, but you need it better. This has got to be a winning homestand. Yeah. You got to take 4 or 6.
Well, and especially since 1-8 on the road?
Horrible.
8 straight losses on the road, so you got to capitalize at home. And I know Dan was asked this question. I'm trying to remember who else. One of the players. It's like it's a ballpark. It really shouldn't matter. It's not like you've got this opposing crowd that's screaming so loud you can't hear the calls or whatever, like in football. Yeah. So but this hopefully will be their, as Big Ray likes to say, get right series.
Yeah, and it means a lot. So I think series if you do come out of this, if you do take 4 of 6 or 5 of 6, that'd be great. Or you sweep it, whatever it is, as long as it's on the positive end. I don't think you qualify. Certainly everybody, not everybody, a large group of people qualified the Astro series. Like, yeah, that's great, but the Astros are a disaster, and they have these injuries, and, it's fool's gold. And you know what? To this point, I have to say, as much as it was sort of irritating to hear that, those people have been proven right, at least initially. Like, all right, well, it looks like you were kind of right, because the offense went to sleep in Game 1 against the Padres. Offense came to life in Game 2, and the bullpen fell apart, and then the offense wasn't there last night, and your starting pitching wasn't awesome either. So, Padres, good team, very good team. That was a measuring stick. You didn't measure up very well. Mm-hmm. That's the reality. That's where we're at. So, if you go through and you get 4, 5, 6 even, obviously, against these two teams, I'm not going to go, well, it's Rangers aren't really that good or the A's aren't really that good. No, right now those two teams are playing well. And they're both ahead of you, and there's added importance of them being in your division. So there's no qualification for these should you come out on top. If you don't come out on top, we're having a different conversation.
Yeah. Well, and then also there's just no room for any stupid mistakes like getting picked off. And then there was a little bit of bad luck in there. I don't remember seeing, certainly not a series or where you have 2 hits bounce off of second base. I know one of them was an out still, but still it was just kind of a lot of weird little things happening. I just and then
those you can't control. Right. Getting picked off is in your control.
Yes, exactly. So, and I'll be interested to see where Luke Raley goes. Does he continue to get hot? And maybe he finds a way into Dan's heart where he will go lefty-lefty.
So he find a way into your heart, Dan. Yeah. Can he endear himself to Dan? I would think, any of these guys that they would normally platoon based on who's pitching, that they would be in there, and maybe they are, but they'd be in there on that trajectory machine and just facing a lefty, just seeing that video, because you're getting the arm slot. That's the beauty of those machines, is they mimic whichever pitcher you want.
Right.
So they can get.
Which is incredible, by the way.
It's amazing. It's an amazing tool, and I would hope that for somebody like Raley or Canzone or anybody else you'd likely pull in those situations, that you're just, hey, get your work in. This is who this team has in the bullpen. This is their power lefty. This is their their junk ball lefty, whatever. Here's one of their starters. Whatever it is, whoever you're facing, you can get them up on that machine and get guys prepared. And it doesn't mean you're going to have success, but, man, you're not going to get better by not ever facing left-handed pitching.
Right.
How's that ever going to improve? Because there are lefties in your lineup you do not pull based on who's on the hill.
Yeah, that was what I heard from Brent Stecker, our guy at SeattleSports.com, and it was like it's kind of becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy that, he's no good at left, hitting lefty on lefty, and then when you're not getting reps there, and like I said, he's batting .500 against lefties. Luke Raley is, but that's 2 at bats.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of an argument against last night. If people want to say, well, historically he's been this, that. I get it. I totally understand the numbers do not favor leaving him in there. I'm very clear on that. Having said that, he's the hottest hitter in your lineup currently, and you're going to replace him with a guy who had 3 ABs in total on the season coming into this game. 3, and he was 0 for 3.
Yeah.
So he had 1 more AB in total than Raley had versus lefties this year. Raley had 2 ABs versus lefties this year, and he had a hit. So he's 1 for 2. The other guy's 0 for 3 in total. That to me, not a better option, but it's in the books. You move on. Rangers are in town. We'll see how things get handled if they're faced with another similar situation.
By the way, just really quick, do you think that's 100% Dan's control?
I think he's talking to his bench coaches. I think they're talking about, hey, they're looking ahead, saying, all right, here's who they have in the bullpen. Here's our stretch of lefties in the lineup. Here's probably who they're going to bring in. What do you think? Do we go with Wisdom here? Do we go with, Joe here? Do we go with Rivas? Do we, whatever. Yeah, I think it's in conjunction. I know a lot of people think like there's a bat phone in the dugout and Jerry's calling down and telling them what to do. That's not the case. We are going to go international for one of our WHYMAN candidates of the week. That is coming your way next as we continue live from Victory Hall. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
After reaching the NFL's mountaintop,
the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The work continues for the Seahawks to keep the foundation strong. It's the 2026 NFL Draft. Next Thursday, April 23rd. Only Seattle Sports begins its first-round draft coverage with a reigning NFL Executive of the Year.
Who are the real Seahawks?
The John Schneider Show at 4 p.m. with Brock Hughes, Michael Bumpus, Steve Wyman, and host Bob Stelton live until 9 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. It's funny how you get used to things in your house that aren't in great condition. For me, for some people, it's a messy garage or a leaning fence. But for me, it's old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. And, you get used to the cold drafts, outside noises, condensation. So if you're in that same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old dreary windows in your home and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. And they have the spring cleaning sale going on right now to complete your home makeover. And the deal is, if you buy 10 windows, you can choose from either 20% off your entire project or get a free door. And on top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade. They're manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest. And they're also exclusive to Harley Exteriors. And also, this most importantly, they're really good people to work with. I've really enjoyed working with them. So give them a call at 833-HARLEY. That's HARLEY. Or go to harleyexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation and get a bid from Harley. That's harleyexteriors.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. You can save up to 20% on Gravely commercial mowers during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event going on now through the 19th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
As spring picks up, Chef Store helps you keep pace. Stock up on the essentials from fresh meat and seasonal produce to frozen foods, syrups, sauces, and supplies. Open to the public, no membership required. Chef Store. Buying big, made easy.
Text
listing enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text TIP to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TIP to 215-215. That's TIP to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Aetna has been my lifesaver. Easy to understand, and if not, customer service is always there to help.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We show up for you because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Mariners and Rangers tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
With Popeye's new $6 faves menu, you can get this 3-piece chicken, this 3-piece tenders, this chicken sandwich, or these 2 regular sides for just $6 a piece. I know you can't see what I see, but trust me, those bold Louisiana flavors look so good, you might just have to get them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Terms apply.
Get down with KC and the Sunshine Band when they take the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. The iconic 70s group has toured around the world, and now they're bringing their blend of funk, disco, and R&B to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on May 17th. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First, you've heard me talk about them. PCF Construction Group. People come first. And if you've been dreaming of a new deck, well, now is the time to call PCF before the good weather arrives and their schedule gets all filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor space year-round, no matter the weather. And for a limited time, get 50% off demolition costs. That's up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. You know, they designed and built our outdoor living space, and we loved it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, construction, they take time. So don't wait another day. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. That's pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First. Tell me why.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the WHYMAN of the Week.
It is WHYMAN presented by Mazda of Everett, and entry number 1 comes from, what was El Hombre's nickname for Roger Goodell? Did he have a...
The Invisible Man.
Is he the Invisible Man, or was that...
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I know he said that.
Wasn't catchy then.
Yeah.
He said better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Ruin Tomorrow is going to be the king.
Ruin Tomorrow is fantastic.
Well, the Invisible Man, as El Hombre calls him, talking about the game coming up this season that starts the season. I guess the Seahawks start the season now on a Wednesday. We don't know who they're going to be playing yet, but the reason they do that instead of the traditional Thursday opening to the season is because that Thursday is occupied by the Rams and 49ers playing in Australia, which is why the Seahawks get bumped to Wednesday. Seems like a little level of disrespect for the Super Bowl champs,
yeah.
But all right, so they're going to be playing in Australia on Thursday, and Roger Goodell, talking with the media, said this Australia thing, that's not a one-time thing.
Well, we always like to say we're going to play and then we'll announce, but there's no question that we're going to be playing here again. Our view is that we're coming here for the long term. We don't come as a one-off. This isn't a circus. This is something that's an investment in this market, and we believe that this is long term, and will be great for the NFL long term.
Does that mean 2027?
It might.
This isn't a circus. A circus.
Sure.
Does the circus isn't when the circus comes to town? Aren't they there for more than one day?
Couple days, couple 3.
Is that usually how it goes?
Yeah.
I haven't been to a circus since I was a little kid, but do they still have circuses? I don't know what's going on there, but I always thought it was more than one day. Anyway, this is not a one-off, is what he's saying, which we've talked about this for those that are new to the program. The motivation for playing outside of the U.S. is very clear. That's very understandable. I understand why they're doing what they're doing. They want to dominate the world, as you always say. They want to increase the revenue streams and build the brand even bigger, the behemoth getting even bigger. Having said that, as a football fan, I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't like his cockiness either. Hey, this is what we're doing. This
isn't the circus.
Yeah. Well, and also let's see, if the fans, respond in a negative way, especially when you're taking away home games for home opportunities for teams.
Yeah.
Now, take it away from the Rams, it's not a big deal because they don't really pull.
It really isn't. I mean, that's just a statement of fact. That's just not a good home field for them, even though they're a very good team who recently won a Super Bowl. It doesn't show in the draw that they have. I feel like you've been in that stadium a bunch of times now. Is it always kind of a 60-40, 70-30 split, something like that?
Man,
fans?
Last year, 2 years ago, they had Pittsburgh went in there, and I wasn't there, obviously, but I was watching the game. And they kept panning to the crowd, and I swear to God, it was 90% Steeler fans. But, when we go down there, I would say, I don't want to exaggerate. It's probably 50-50, really. But it's the same.
That's big.
No, I mean, I don't want to say it's like 75% or anything like that. But the Pittsburgh game was like 85 to 90%. And it's kind of the same way with the Cardinals. And I think in our division, we by far have the most loyal fans. We complain about, seeing red jerseys and, 49er fans and stuff like that, but still, and that's like mildly annoying. It's to that point, but not like other places.
If you're a Rams fan or a Rams player, how do you feel looking out in the stands and seeing all the opposing color? But even that, though, I just don't like the idea because I don't know what the end game is. I want to know what their ultimate goal. They have it somewhere.
Conquer the world, Bob.
Well, but ultimately, are they looking at, hey, we're going to have a division out here, a European division? Are we going to have teams? The schedule will somehow be that every team has 4 home games that are out there, or in London, or Germany, or Italy, or wherever, Mexico, wherever they're going to go, Australia. What's the end game? Like right now, they're just kind of one here, but the numbers growing.
Yeah.
What is their ultimate goal?
I just wish he would take care of the fans, the NFL fans right now.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to, go for the future. I mean, take care of your fans. Don't make it so freaking expensive.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I guess this is yesterday, former O-lineman Kyle Long was calling out Pete Carroll and Tom Cable for how they treated him during a pre-draft visit.
Now, Tom Cable is somebody who has some personal experience with substance abuse from his own house because he's dealt with it with his immediate family. And when I was in the pre-draft process, Tom Cable was with the Seahawks. One thing I'll never forget is going to the Seahawks private meeting room with Pete Carroll at the end of the board table and all the staff on the side. And when I sat down, they brought out a case of Keystone Light, slapped it in front of me. And they kind of were like, "You want to have a beer?" And I remember being like, "You realize I could rip every single one of you guys up in this room, and this is like wrong on so many." I've never told this story, but it pisses me off thinking about it now. And Tom Cable was there, and Tom Cable really grilled me that day. And I feel like he was projecting onto me a lot of the things that, I got caught having fun a couple times.
Right.
And I have fun still. So
right.
Sue me.
All right. Was that a test for them? Were they?
Is that what I mean, that's pretty hokey. I wouldn't think Pete Carroll would do that kind of thing.
I didn't know his history, so it sounds like he's implying I had fun a few times, got caught. I don't know, was he DUI or minor possession? I don't know what happened, but it sounds like, all right, was this their way of testing him to see, all right, has this kid learned a lesson? Or it does sound like an odd scenario.
Yeah, it's really odd. And also, Keystone Light. I mean, what do we?
That's your issue with the story, is the brand?
Why not Rainier? I mean, bring some rain dogs in there. You got to be kidding me.
We got one more quickly before the break. This is Keith Law on Brock and Salk, and he was talking about which Anderson? Who's he talking about?
Oh, Kate Anderson.
Oh,
yes, there's multiple.
Expresses his concern about Anderson's start to the season.
Kate Anderson does not look very good right now. His velocity has been down. I don't know the full explanation for that. He is, at the very least, not throwing as hard as he did a year ago. Now he's got other weapons. He's got an outstanding changeup. He's barely used when I saw him in March. I don't know what the planning was there. I'm very glad to see he's off to a good start in, I think he said 2 outings so far in AA, which is that's a big jump. I think going from the SEC to, if he'd gone to A-ball, even high A, I would say, okay, whatever, that's not that much of a stretch. For them to send him to AA, which is appropriate given where they picked him and where he pitched, for him to have success in 2 outings is a great, great sign. I have Emerson as number 1 in the system. I think pretty much everybody does.
So this is after Anderson had the start where he went 5 no-hit innings and struck out 11.
Yeah, like 2 days after.
Huh. Wow. He's talking about a drop in velocity. Okay. Sounds like he was pretty darn effective. I'm not sure what it is he's exactly concerned about with him, if it's just velocity, but he seems to have found a way to be effective. Again, 5 no-hit innings, 11 Ks, and then 2 days later, this is what he's saying is an odd statement.
Yeah, that is strange timing there.
Yeah. All right. The Mariners are deficient in one surprising area right now. We'll tell you what that is coming up next with Wyman and Bob live from Victory Hall. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to adopt for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ way.
It's a brave face we put on. We never want to be any trouble. But you know, getting older isn't all smiles and birthday parties. Sometimes it's facing the fact that we are aging. And you know what? That can be pretty hard. If you need a little support or just want to talk to someone, 988 is here for you. It's free and it's confidential. Call 988 anywhere, anytime. A message from the Washington State Department of Health.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Upgrade your comfort and cut utility costs with Lake Washington Windows. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors plus $1,000 off whole projects while taking 12 months to pay with no interest. Schedule your estimate by April 30th at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. you need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here for my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And if you're looking for a spot to catch all the spring baseball and sports, I got a place for you. Hawks Peak Sports Bar and Grill. It's your home for game days with more than 60 TVs, so you won't miss a play. They got great food and drinks, and nothing beats the views. So get in on all the action at Hawks Peak. Head to snocasino.com for all the details. That's snocasino.com. It is Seattle's closest Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto-pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
511 is now part of Seattle, and they're celebrating at South Center Mall this Saturday, April 18th. 511 makes purpose-built gear, including pants, shirts, bags, and more, built to handle whatever your day throws at you. Come see it for yourself. Meet pro rider Carrie Hart and enter to win a trip to Salt Lake Supercross, including 2 tickets and $2,000 in cash. Join them from 10 to 6, one day only, Saturday, April 18th at South Center.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners returning to the comfy confines of T-Mobile Park. They welcome the Texas Rangers to town. Game 1 of a 3-game series coming your way tonight. Mariners sending Logan Gilbert to the hill. He will face off against Jacob deGrom going for the Texas Rangers. It all starts at 5:30 right here with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch, Seattle Sports on 710. Taking a look at some of the games going on right now. They're in the top of the third in Cleveland. No score between the Orioles and the Guardians. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia in the bottom of the first, Braves jump out to a 2-0 lead over the Phillies. Top of the second in Pittsburgh. No score between the Rays and the Pirates. Top of the second in Washington. No score between the Nationals and the Giants.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We got mean text coming up in just over an hour from now. So get those things rolling. We'll see if our guy, I don't know where in the world Adam Ray is, but see if he's going to chime in with some. Yeah. It seemed like they were starting to pick up, Lefko, right?
A little bit. You give him too much credit, Bob.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, a little bit. Little bit.
I saw a couple of good ones come in.
Maybe like a drip, not even a trickle.
Yeah,
yet.
The faucet hasn't been turned on yet, but
like you hit it by mistake and one little drip of water falls out. That's the mean text quality right now.
You're really hard on these guys, Lefko. You really are. You're a tough judge.
We got a text from Wendy, or I'm sorry, Linda. I always call her Wendy.
She's always going to chime in. She'll always submit the mean text.
Yeah, I haven't heard from her in a while, though.
Yeah, well, you haven't been paying attention. She's there. She's there.
I don't remember for the last couple of weeks, or maybe her texts are just so crappy that we don't read them.
Really trying to antagonize her.
Yeah, we love Linda.
Meanwhile, we were obviously talking about this most recent stretch for the Mariners being swept in San Diego. How concerned should we be? Where's everybody at with the concern meter? Should it be, hey, we got a serious problem here, something needs to be addressed? Do we look at it as Aaron Goldsmith, who joined us earlier in the program, and he pointed out, and he's correct, there's a lot of fluky, weird things that happened. I'm not saying they were playing great ball, and if not for this one moment, no, they sort of created some of their own bad luck. But you did have some. I mean, you had a double that was hit at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You had one go off the mound off of Ty France's bat that was, I think that was like 70 miles an hour. I mean, it wasn't as if there was just laser shot after laser shot. Right. It led to a loss. It wasn't the only reason. But, yes, there was some fluke to it. So, keeping all of that in mind, do you look at it and say, hey, that's baseball, there's nothing to worry about here, or, hey, I've got some legit concerns about what we're seeing?
Well, I mean, look, you can't help the fluky things, like the parachute, one that drops in between
the water balloon,
Julio and I think Cole Young. So, yeah, I mean, you have that, but getting picked off, those kinds of, the bonehead plays, you just can't have that. The way they're playing right now, and especially against a team like that. Again, I think the Padres are going to be really good. They're going to push the Dodgers at the end of the year in the playoffs. But
yeah, even more of a reason you don't make those mistakes.
Right. Yeah, you just can't. You can't make those mistakes against that kind of team. So, yeah, this will be a very telling series, I think, here with the Rangers. And, and I don't really know how to feel about the A's right now. But, Texas, it just looked like they had our number. So, but look, it's early on, and we'll see. But I don't know. If we're going to split this series, which I think is a reasonable expectation, I would rather see us win the series against Texas than the series against the A's. If you had to pick one, which would you choose?
Yeah, I would probably Texas, because I believe I guess I believe in them a little bit more than the A's. The A's, I'm not certain they're going to be sitting in this position throughout the season, because I don't know that I buy into their pitching. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. I buy into their offense and the young talent. We talked about it a ton. They got a lot of. They look like they could be a big problem for years to come. But the rotation, I'm not as bought in on them yet. So we'll see. We'll see what they. So Texas, to me, represents more of a certainty, if you will, between those two. So
Agreed.
I'll go with you on that. Dan Wilson just talking about a bit of what happened out there in San Diego, talking about the opportunities they couldn't take advantage of and some of the big innings that happened.
Yeah, tough win and tough series. Really the Padres, getting forward in the second there. I thought outside of that, really gave us, he got us deep enough to where we could, let the offense try to take some action, and they were able to do that there in the sixth. Got a couple runs there. We had some opportunities, earlier where we got a couple guys on, but not able to get them in, and they were just able to get some base runners on, get some balls in the holes, and score 4 there in the second, and we just weren't able to overcome it. They put the one on later on in the ball game, but when we talked about it earlier with that back end bullpen, you got to get there early and strike early offensively. We just weren't able to do that.
Are you of the thinking that the 1-8 on the road
that'll even out?
I totally get that, and I'm with you on that. I don't think that's really. And Dan was asked about that, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't really know that you can say that's what the problem has been." They certainly travel first class, everything, and they're taking care of the players, and just like the Seahawks do. So I don't think that the travel affects them at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard you play 81 games a year on the road.
Yeah.
It's hard to win. They travel more in terms of distance than any other team in baseball. Last year, they were 39-42 on the road. So that's a 90-win season. You won the division. So if they're somewhere around there, I mean, look, Toronto won their division. They won 94 games. They were 40-41 on the road. So it's kind of how it goes. Not everybody struggles, but you look at the majority of these records on the road are losing records. So there aren't a ton of teams that are over 500 on the road. Some of them certainly are. Dodgers were one game over 5. They were 41-40 last year. So as long as it's going to even out, is my point. I don't expect them to be, win 1 out of every 9 games on the road. So that's where they're at right now, unfortunately. But we'll see. Meanwhile, Julio, he's not losing confidence. He feels like they're going to be able to pull out of this rough stretch.
I mean, we got how many games? We don't even have play extended period of time. So I feel like I said, like we're setting on the table. We're showing flashes, but I feel like we're gonna be in a good spot. Like there is nothing else to say.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that first part I
didn't catch every word, but basically he's confident. They're going to be fine, I think. And look, that's what you want to hear from your stars. That's what you want to hear from him. That's what you want to hear from Cal and Naylor and J.P. Crawford and anybody you count on is a pillar of this team. Last thing you want to hear is panic or, man, I don't know what's wrong with us. That would make me more concerned. That would give me more reason to be thinking, all right, there's a deeper problem here where these guys are looking at it. And look, it's not that they're not taking it seriously or they're not, if anything, like we've talked about, a lot of their problems come from trying a bit too hard and getting outside of their game. But that's what you want to hear from those guys. You want to hear calm, we're going to be fine. It's not, everybody understands it's not fun to watch right now. Nobody wants to see this. They certainly don't. They're in the thick of it. They're not trying to go out there and stink it up. But ultimately, I think it'll get to where we expected it to be.
Was he maybe the most disappointing on this road trip? He was 1 for 9. 1 for 9 on the road trip. Had an RBI, but
he had that home run taken away. He squared that one up.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit the ball well. You give credit to Merrill on that. I'd probably say Naylor. Naylor's scuffling, man. I thought that 2 home run game here in Seattle was going to be the thing to really get him turned around, and unfortunately, that's not it. I don't know really what's happening with him, but it's been a rough go for him.
Yeah, he also only got 1 hit.
I mean,
in San Diego.
What's he hitting? $118 or $100? Yeah, it's just
You mentioned the 2 home runs, so but his OPS is 390.
Not good.
Yeah, I mean, it has to correct at some point, right? And I feel like once they get like a spark, they're gonna catch on fire. They have to. I mean, it has to even out, especially Josh Naylor.
Yeah. He's a decidedly better player than what he's showing right now, and that's why they re-signed him. That's why the city fell in love with him. He was an instant hit with this team in this fan base last year, and I expect he's going to get back to that form. But right now, it's a tough slog for him, no question. Now, the big conversation coming out of last night's game was the decision to pull Luke Raley with the bases loaded. They bring in a tough lefty, no question about it. Your guy.
Moyer.
Tough lefty.
Got lots of them texting in right now.
I get what the numbers say.
Yeah.
And, if we're just living and dying with numbers and keeping context out of it and just going, well, here's the number, so here's the decision, then he made the right decision. I personally disagree with it, and I disagreed with it before this game even happened, but it's the talking point. And after the game, he was asked about that decision to pinch hit for Luke Raley with Connor Joe.
With Connor Joe? Yeah, I mean, more home stuff. He's tough, certainly on lefties, and CJ, what we saw from him all spring were solid ABs, and what we saw with him against Adam there in the 7th or 8th was another great at bat. But more home stuff, righties and lefties.
Yeah, I mean, every manager in Major League Baseball is going through this, right?
Yeah, they all get second guessed when something doesn't work or they lose.
Doug Glanville, remember, and he said the culture is second guessers. And that's exactly right. But as long as you're consistent, which you are, and you've proclaimed that very, very firmly, that, you're going with the hot bat. Don't care about lefty-righty.
Not in this instance, yeah. When the lineup is as inconsistent and uneven as it's been, yeah, then I'm going to stray away from the absolutes of, all right, well, my offense is clicking. All right, they brought in a lefty, so here's what we're going to do. Yeah. Because those decisions more often than not do make sense to me. In this instance, with the lineup functioning or not functioning, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. So it is, I'm not saying just in perpetuity, this is just how you do it. You always just go with your gut and you ignore the numbers. No, not saying that at all. But just where this team is at offensively and who's been hot, who's not been hot, what you have to work with off the bench versus what's available to you there in Luke Raley, yeah, still I'm living with that one.
But as far as that decision from Dan, we talked about this a little bit earlier. What do you think that looks like? Is it just Dan going off of the numbers, or you mentioned, his assistant coaches chiming in? What about
I think he's talking
analytics?
to Maniacta. I think they have all the numbers. I think they've got all the possibilities. Here's what this team's working with in the bullpen. We get in a late game situation, and this guy comes in. What are we doing here? Yeah, I don't think it's a whim. I don't think it's spur of the moment where he's going, I'm going to pinch it. I think that they've got it dialed in pretty much, depending on the situation of the game, how they're going to attack that team when they make their move. Here's their move. Okay, here's how we're going to counter that.
Well, and I'm still very much. I really love. I was texting with Brent Stecker, and who writes at SeattleSports.com, and just about also getting the opportunities to go against for Luke Raley to go lefty on lefty. What is it? 2 at bats.
Yep. 1 for 2.
Yeah, and I don't know what the number on the other side is. Obviously a lot more. But I don't know. He called it kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that you're not getting the reps there. So yeah, you're not gonna be able to ever conquer that statistically. So
you don't get better at it by not doing it.
Right.
Meanwhile, they leave Cole Young, a rookie, in there. They leave him in versus lefties.
Yeah.
They certainly leave Naylor in there versus lefties. They leave J.P. Crawford in there versus lefties. And those two obviously have more of a resume and a track record, but you got a young guy in Cole Young. You're leaving him there.
Right. Yeah, so that part doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I don't. The more you talk about it, the more I think you're talking me into. I've always been more that way, I think, as well. And I'm curious, people can text in 866-979-3776. Are you more, a strict lefty, righty guy, or you go with the hot hitter, the hot bat? And it's definitely a hot bat for Luke Raley.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we saw Luis Castillo get the start last night. We talked about that before the game, that we wanted to see him give us something different than the previous 2 starts because those were bad. Yeah. He went 3+ in each of his previous 2 starts. They were not good. This start got off to a really poor start. That second inning, he gives up 4 runs. Again, the ERA is saved. You want to look at the box score and say he only gave up 1 earned run. Well, that's because of his throwing error. Right. So the runs that came in after became unearned runs. It was his error. It's actually one that I think Naylor normally picks there. Mm-hmm. He didn't come up with it, and then he bobbled the ball where he could have turned a double play. You can't assume the double play, which is why that's not an error. He recorded the out at first base. So, yeah, Naylor wasn't his normal self there defensively. Was not a good throw from Luis. Obviously, he got hit with the ball. It was a comebacker. He gets the ball, fires it to first, and short hops it. But basically, that throwing error saved his ERA.
Yeah.
Because the other 3 runs.
So you're saying he did it on purpose?
Exactly right. Yeah. He knew they were going to score, so let me just make sure they don't count against me. So 3 unearned runs in that situation. But he was, good on him to last 5 1/3 because it looked like he was going to get knocked out of that game early. So at least he was able to do that. But he's still not the guy you're looking for in that spot. Certainly through his first start of the year, he was great.
Right.
The following 3, not great. So what needs to happen for him, I'm not entirely sure. The Mariners, they just had the announcement from Justin Hollander, and our Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer tweeting out, as expected, Bryce Miller is here today. He's going to start a rehab assignment tomorrow with Tacoma, according to Justin Hollander. Will likely need the full 30 days. So Yeah, we talked about, I think, a few weeks back, like, when do you think he's coming back? I was thinking beginning of May, maybe. Now it's starting to look like middle May, obviously, if he's going to take the full 30 days. So we'll see what happens with him and how quickly he progresses. But it's going to be a lot of eyes will be on Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo in that time.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it just seemed like it was when he had bad games. It was maybe two in a row. That's 3 now.
Castillo.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on him. And then, I was just thinking about Naylor. I mean, you talk about Brendan Donovan starting off defensively, not good at all, but his bat was fantastic. But, you talked about a couple of plays that, I don't know, they were terrible defensive plays or anything, but usually he comes up, and picks that ball, but he's not good at the plate either. Whereas Donovan, is like, wow, better than advertised, at least one side of his game. And, for Naylor, I mean, and he hasn't, does he have a stolen base yet? I'm not sure. I mean, I know
he's been on base enough to steal a base.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean,
sadly enough.
He's got 2 home runs, so he's not.
Yeah.
He's had limited opportunity on the base paths to this point. So,
so I mean, and he's probably the one guy I'm the most comfortable with struggling, just because mentally, I think he is just such a grinder.
Yeah.
And and I think I don't know, he seems one of those guys that's unaffected or unflappable, that, he knows the game, and I don't see him getting frustrated or going too far one way or the other. He's just a very steady character. So as far as, his personality goes and what we see from him, mentally, I'm comfortable with him being in that struggling position more than anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable.
Well, I mean, look, it's like, I just think he's the one who, what I mean by that is that he's the one that's most likely to overcome that.
It feels like he should be, right?
Psychologically, he is more nailed down than anybody else.
It feels like it. Yeah, I'm actually surprised it's lasted this long. And again, I thought that 2-home-run game was going to be the light switch that got flipped. Like, all right, there you go. Pressure's off. He can kind of let the shoulders down, breathe a sigh of relief. We heard his comments about the fan base, and man, these fans are there for you, and they're the best. And they were telling me, keep my head up. And, it just felt like, hey, all right, this is where we can talk about where things turned for him. And it, at least in the immediate aftermath, it hasn't. Yeah. So maybe getting back home, he likes hitting here. He's made that very clear. He thinks this is a hitter's park. He said it was easy to hit here, and last year he backed all that up. So
as long as he thinks so.
Yeah, as long as he feels good. As long as this is such a mental game. So as long as he's stepping into that box with maybe just a different level of comfort, confidence, whatever it is, good.
But yeah, I mean, Mike details all of the, the things that happen that just can't happen when you're not hitting.
Yeah, we'll get into those coming up. But Naylor is a guy that has to hit. You invested in him. He's a guy that's crucial to this lineup. And he's a guy who can set a tone. I mean, you talk about his demeanor, and he's very Brendan Donovan-like in that he's just all baseball, and that's it. So, these guys coming out of it, it's not going to be, we don't need to worry about the work ethic. We don't need to worry about are they going to work on it? Are they going to, put in the effort to get out of this? They are. And I truly believe he will find his way out. But right now, it's just kind of weird to watch him struggling hitting 118, man.
Yeah, I don't. We really haven't seen this version of Josh Naylor.
No, we haven't. So it's a tough. On the heels of the big deal, everybody was so excited about him being here from the beginning of the year. So that's what makes it a little tougher pill to swallow. But I think most fans are, as much as they're frustrated with certain players, him, Cal, whoever it is. I think you ask them, they're going to be fine. Right now, it's just I'm mad. I'm mad at what I'm seeing. I'm mad at what I'm not seeing. And I get all that as a Mariner fan. I was rolling around on the floor. I get mad too. So I understand that.
I wish we had video of that. Don't you, Mike? Picture Bob doing
the 2 things I wish we had video of, that and your infamous treadmill.
Yeah.
The mishap on the treadmill.
Yeah, that would be gold. Meanwhile, Mariners have had some self-inflicted wounds that have contributed to their struggles. We're going to get into some of that coming up next as we continue live from Victory Hall. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
After reaching the NFL's mountaintop,
the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The work continues for the Seahawks to keep the foundation strong. It's the 2026 NFL Draft. Next Thursday, April 23rd, only Seattle Sports begins its first-round draft coverage with a reigning NFL Executive of the Year.
Who are the real Seahawks?
The John Schneider Show at 4 p.m. with Brock Hughes, Michael Bumpus, Steve Wyman, and host Bob Stelton live until 9 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
When you jump on the back of a bull and the gate swings, there's no middle ground. You either ride it out with 8 seconds of pure adrenaline or hit the dirt and run. Bull riding is not just a sport, it's a gamble of guts and glory. Nothing else compares. This is the PBR Unleash the Beast Tour. See the best bull riders in the world face off at Cooper Tire's PBR Tacoma at Tacoma Dome April 24th and 25th. Ready to be cowboy? Get your tickets at Ticketmaster. It's bull time.
Hear that? Sounds like simple. Valvoline Instant Oil Change simple. No appointments. About 15 minutes to change your oil. Then out the door and back to life.
Yeah, honey, on my way.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Expert service doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. You can save up to 20% on Gravely commercial mowers during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event going on now through the 19th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Total Wellness at Home is here. Save up to $2,800 on a saltwater hot spring spa and enjoy healthy, relaxing soaks. Save up to $12,000 on an endless pool swim spa for a year-round retreat. These massive savings end April 30th.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a warehouse operations manager.
Where are the forklifts?
Sold them. Too expensive. We're using scooters now.
So you expect us to move a 2-ton pallet on a scooter?
Just lean into it. Put your back into it, people.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Here in the Pacific Northwest, windows can be one of the best investments you can make to add value to your home. At Dunn Lumber, we have designated Marvin window specialists who have been trained by Marvin to best serve your needs. If you need help finding the right windows for your home, come by one of our 4 Dunn Lumber window showrooms. Or reach out to me personally, Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Dunn Lumber, building success together.
Hi, Chef John Howie here. At Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue, we've been serving the East Side for more than 24 years. We love serving our guests and creating wonderful memories. We also love serving the community, from local schools to amazing organizations like HopeLink, the American Cancer Society, Bellevue LifeSpring, and so many more. I want to thank you, our guests, for supporting Sea Star all these years, making it possible for us to serve and help those in need. Thank you. SeaStarRestaurant.com.
Mariners and Rangers tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher.
Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. If you guys want to send in your mean text, we'll be doing those at 5:15 today. So you got about 45 minutes to get to work and come up with your creative shots at us. A couple of good ones coming in, so keep that flowing. Meanwhile, Mariners getting set for the arrival of the Texas Rangers. Game 1 coming your way tonight with Logan Gilbert on the hill. Hopefully he looks like he did in his last start, which was his best of the season. And hopefully, Dave, what we're not going to see is some of the self-inflicted wounds we've seen throughout the season, not just the series. But in the series, we saw Brendan Donovan, who, again, I've got zero complaints with who he is at the plate. We've had some complaints about who he's been in the field, and it's trending the right way slowly. You can't get picked off first base. You just can't do it. And he's not alone. It's not the only one this year. In a very short amount of time, we've seen a couple of guys get picked off. You're not good enough right now. You're not good enough for those kind of self-inflicted wounds. You cannot make outs on the base paths like that. You can't. Whether it's, whether it's, tough throw from Castillo, he gets charged with the error on a ball that Naylor normally would pick, but I'm not going to blame him. Bad throw there. We saw the bobble in the outfield from Randy at the end of that game. Does he get the guy at home? I don't know. I still never saw the angle of where the runner was based on when he touched the ball, but to not even get a throw off, the defense has been a bit sloppy in totality for this team. And it's not just one guy. I know Donovan was the target because he had 4 errors in the first 11, 12 games, I think it was. But he's not alone. You got the base running mistakes. You got the fielding mistakes. You're just not playing well enough to overcome those kind of mistakes right now.
Yeah. When I break the most stuff around my house or knock things over, it's because I'm in a hurry.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, calm down. I will literally say that to okay, just calm down. Last night I knocked over a beer, and then, it just exploded. And then, I dropped a coffee cup, and I'm like, what am I doing here, man? I got to slow down. I got to slow down.
Shannon is going to come home to just a disaster zone.
I'm dedicating the entire weekend, because she comes home Sunday night, to cleaning everything up. But seriously, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get back in a hurry, trying to get back to where they were at the end of last year. And, I'm sure they feel that pressure. So that's where, I'm like, you just got to calm down and just be patient. And that's really hard to do. And that's my biggest problem when I hurry like that is I'm impatient, and for these guys, these are routine things that, Naylor never does that. Right. So, I think that's kind of what's going on. We always use the word pressing, and you said this, earlier, which, Yeah, I mean, I made a comment about, well, I don't think, Cal is that guy that's going to press. And as you pointed out, everybody is susceptible to that.
Yeah.
To pressing. So, yeah. So I won't say that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you see it it manifests in different ways, right?
Yeah.
You'll see guys who are emotional and you see it outwardly. And other guys like maybe Cal, you're seeing it with the pitches he's swinging at, where he's chasing way out of the zone on pitches. You're going, there's a lot of swing and miss with Cal. But it's within the strike zone. Some of the pitches he's chasing, you're like, what are you doing?
I know.
What are you looking at there?
I think I saw that again last night. And, the night before that was the one where I was like, wow, I remember the last time I looked at Cal with that much confusion on his face. I think it was a changeup that he swung at, and it was just like, they say he waves at it.
Yeah.
That's kind of exactly what it looked like. So,
and he's not alone. I mean, I saw it the other night I can't remember if it was last night or the game before, where Julio came up in a situation with runners on, worked the count. I think he went down 0-2 and then worked it to a full count. And I'm sitting there going, he's going to go off speed low and away. He's going to go off speed low and away.
Yeah. And did he swing at it?
And he chased it. It never even started out as, look, I know it's easy for me from the couch. Right. I'm not seeing the ball coming at me. And off speed for them is, 89, 91, something like that. So it's quick reaction. But you often see it'll start out as a strike, then it'll tail off. And so I'm going, okay, yeah, it's easy for me. He saw it as a strike where he's committed to the swing. It never started out as a strike. It was off the plate, out of his hand almost. And I'm going, what are you swinging at, man? What is it you're looking at?
When he swung at it, did he step into the opposing or the other batting?
He wasn't off balance, but he missed it by a fair amount.
Yeah,
it ended up over there, and you see him walking away, shaking his head like he knows. He's thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? So, that's where you see the pressing. That's where you see, like, come on. And he's done a nice job, I think, working his way on base, working some walks this year, showing more patience. So in that moment, I was like, where'd all that patience go? Yeah. That was ball 4. You just swung at ball 4. So, yeah, you're seeing it in different ways with different guys. With Naylor, we'll see. If you're Dan, do you shuffle the lineup? Do you drop Naylor down? Do you move Cole Young up? Do you move Luke Raley up? You're not going to bench any of these guys, certainly, but you start maybe thinking about, all right, let's move him down a bit till he finds his rhythm. Let's get this guy who's been rolling, whether it's Cole Young, whether it's Raley or whoever, let's bump him up.
Yeah, I just don't. I suppose that works. I mean, otherwise people wouldn't talk about it, right? But, I think that everybody's at bat is its own entity and, what order you're in. But, maybe, hey, if you put a guy that gets on base and, you get some confidence driving in a base runner, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if that works for them psychologically, fine. But to me, I don't know. The whole thing just kind of seems like not a desperate move, but you're just trying to fix something. And I just feel like that one at bat, your at bat does it matter who's behind you or who's in front of you? I don't know.
Sometimes it does. Depends on who it is. Depends on where you're at in the lineup and what that guy in front of you does. But it just, for me, I'm looking at it going, all right, I'm sort of torn between showing belief in your guys, like, hey, I'm not going to panic, talking about Dan. I'm going to lead. Everything's going to be the same. Donovan's going to lead off. Then it's going to be Cal. Then it's going to be Julio. Then it's going to be Naylor. Then it's going to be Randy. And that's been static. That's what he's done.
Right.
But they've all struggled individually outside of Donovan. Do you move the pieces around a little bit just to get guys right? Do you drop Naylor in that lineup? I don't know that I see the advantage in it that, all right, let's shake some things up. Let's move up this guy. He's been hitting well. Let's get him maybe an extra turn that he otherwise wouldn't get. We're going to drop this guy down a bit, take some of the heat off of him, see how it works out, versus I'm just going to keep running out the same lineup. I'm not going to touch a thing because I believe in him. And that's how I'm going to show belief. I'm not going to tinker. I'm going to leave it outside of our other regular platoons. I'm not messing with where anybody hits. I'm sort of torn between that message and, hey, I can't just sit here and watch the same thing each and every night. We've got to do something.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly where they're at. They're just trying to – they know that they're a much better team. than this. And so they're trying to get it back quickly, and you just can't, especially in baseball. You have to be patient, unlike me when I'm, picking up the house and, putting dishes in the sink.
Breaking coffee cups and knocking over beers.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of how that goes. I think that's the mentality. And baseball is just so different from every other sport in that regard. And really, I think, and I've always said, I think that hitting big league pitching is probably the hardest thing for any athlete in any sport.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. So, yeah, I just have a lot of respect for these guys. But, we talked about this with Goldie. And I had this great conversation with yesterday. I know you had to get going, but Eric Kennedy, the equipment manager for the Seahawks, he stayed behind me. Him and NASA were having this long conversation, and he was just talking about how good these guys are and how together they are, and why you brought back a guy like Jake Bobo, and and the Mariners have, and we had that conversation with Goldie, they have the exact same thing going. You got a bunch of guys with very high character, so they'll turn it around.
Yeah.
It's just, you've got to be patient with it right now.
All right, coming up, one upcoming opponent has high praise for a Mariners pitcher. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, live from Victory Hall at Seattle Sports on 710.
4 Down Territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
What concerns you when it comes to the 30-second pick?
A lot of us talk about the 30-second pick like Price is just going to be there. Like, he's there, let's take him. I went on NFL.com. Nick Shook wrote an article about teams' needs. There are 2 teams that he thinks before the Seahawks need a running back. And if they go that route, then Price isn't going to be there. How are these guys going to pivot? Those 2 teams are the Jags and the Broncos.
Catch every 4 Down Territory on the Seattle Sports app.
For local men recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, several treatment options are available. And I recently had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Robert Moyer. He is a multiple-time recipient of the Top Doctor Award. We spoke about the great work being done by Swedish CyberKnife. And Dr. Moyer, he said patients experience fewer side effects compared with other treatments, and the CyberKnife treatment is complete after only 5 sessions, each lasting about 45 minutes. And patients are treating their prostate cancer in only 1 week with minimal interruption to their lives. And many don't even take time off of work to undergo treatment. The CyberKnife targets the prostate cancer only, sparing vital surrounding organs. And that's why the recovery time is so much better. Swedish, they've been offering the CyberKnife treatment in Seattle for over 10 years, and they've treated over 1,000 prostate cancer patients. So if diagnosed with prostate cancer, learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer treatment at swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online, all with our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings. So even though the kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. 5 years. Same internet price. Lock in reliable, fiber-powered gig Wi-Fi for effortless streaming. Plus, get the Disney Plus, Hulu bundle, and Peacock Premium included on us. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Peacock Premium included for 3 years. Programming subject to change and availability. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Mariners and Rangers tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Thank you. I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
We heard some comments from Julio after the game, and he further expanded on those after the game last night, just mentioning over those past 2 games against the Padres, they did have a lot of guys on base, and in Julio's mind, he believes the tide is going to start to turn soon for this offense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like we play a game of failure. You know, there are some times that it's just not gonna go your way, and I feel like, you know, we continue to set the table, continue to put pressure on teams, and continue to put people on base. I feel like that's eventually it's going to turn into something positive. You know, I feel like it will have been something different if we're not getting on base, if we're not setting up the table, if we're not. I mean, there will be things to address there, but like, you know, I feel like we're doing a good job creating traffic, and eventually things will come.
Would you rather have that response, or would you rather have the Correa response? Like, we have no excuses. We're just playing elite baseball right now.
That's a good question.
Because they had kind of the Astros went 1-9 on their 10-game road trip.
Yeah, we're not to that point yet.
But the Mariners are 1-8 on the road.
On the road, yeah.
This year.
Spread out a little bit more.
Certainly.
But no, I mean, I honestly appreciate both. And Correa, again, I feel dirty that I actually like him now. But yeah.
Oh, I did. Now you're getting crazy.
Well, I don't want to say like. I liked his comment.
Yeah, that's where it ends.
Wyman's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Thank you, Goldie. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the mature way to be, and I think he's on it. But I don't know if they continue at this rate, especially on the road. And he's saying that. I think you know, maybe a week or 2 from now, I want to hear the Correa response.
If it continues this way, yeah. Somebody needs to step up and just say what we're seeing, what we're doing, unacceptable.
Sweeping the dial.
A's first baseman Nick Kurtz is in his second season, so he's had a pretty small sample size, but he was interviewed before a game this week, and it's a team that's coming here the start of this upcoming week. Monday through Wednesday they'll be here, and he was asked to name the toughest pitcher he's faced in his big league career.
Brian Will, yeah, he's got my number real good. Heater, it's unbelievable. Good heater, and then he can get it up and in on me really good. Doesn't miss a spot with it.
Did you ever get the better of him last year?
No, I'm probably cool over 6, 5 punch outs.
Is there any different preparation when you know he's starting that day, or is it just watching extra film or anything?
No, because I know what he's going to do to me. It's just whether I can get it to it that day or not.
That's pretty funny. I'm a cool 0 for 6 with 5 punch outs. Good on him though. He says he gets it up and in on me. He didn't whine like Mike Trout did.
Yeah.
He's took it in stride. Like, yeah, that's baseball, man. I can't hit the guy, and I know what he's going to do.
See, Trout had 5 home runs in that series with the Yankees.
Yeah, did they leave it out over the plate for him? Did they say, hey, we're not going to come up and in on you. We're just going to put this right in the swing path so you can launch it out of the stadium.
I think most pitchers would put it right in his grill. But yeah, I mean, I think that is the best compliment when you get something like that from an opponent, one of your peers.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Woo's, that's got to give him a ton of confidence. And yeah, this is a kid last year, he had over 1,000 OPS.
Yeah.
My gosh. I mean, 290 batting average. And, he openly admits that you have his number. That's got to feel really good.
I just like how quickly he answered the question.
Yeah.
When they asked him, like, hey, who gives you a hard time, or however he phrased it, he's like, Brian Will.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just immediate.
It wasn't like, let me think about this.
No. Yeah. Top of mind.
Sweeping the dial.
Now, this is long, but a pretty thorough breakdown from Joe Flacco, who's kind of been the good quote machine lately. Remember last year he was like, yeah, I kind of enjoy eating in a restaurant by myself now. Yeah, I get the appeal of it. So he dropped that piece of gold last year. He was being interviewed by Front Office Sports, and they're getting into the seemingly inevitability of an 18-game schedule, and Flacco was breaking down some of the drawbacks that he thinks players might not be aware of right now.
If we're asked to play 18 games, I think you're not going to see much difference. And it looks like we're probably eventually going to play 18 games, and we're just going to have to do it, and that is what it is. And I think what players don't understand is even though we get paid on a weekly basis, like your contract is what it is. What you have to realize is if there's a whole extra week added on to the season, then the revenue is going to go up, and naturally the salary cap's going to go up. So over time, you are going to be making more money, but it's just like every other time that there's more money in the pot. It usually goes to 2 or 3 guys. It doesn't usually get spread out and diluted evenly. You got to be careful with that. But ultimately, it seems like we're going to go there and we're going to be able to do it. I think as a player, I love playing 16 games. And I think the NFL had an awesome formula for 16 games and 4 rounds of playoffs. And I think it was super competitive. I don't think people realize that when you have to put guys through an 18-game regular season schedule, I think what could happen is that the playoffs start to suffer and you get teams that are so beat up by that point in the year that they're not really at their best.
Wow. Interesting perspective.
Very.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see because we haven't seen them play 18 games yet in a regular season. But I don't know, as a guy that did it, Dave, what is your thought on that? You think in addition to, what would be, if there's merit in that, and I don't doubt him, we have to wait and see, but would you think expanding the rosters would be part of a solution? Like, hey, we need more people available because there's going to be more attrition. How do you counter that?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really heard that with the jump to the 17-game schedule, but I don't know, maybe 18 is just too much. It's going to be a long season, but...
How do you think you would have done with 18?
I'd be fine.
By the end, were you like, oh, I can barely move, or were you like, I got more in me, I'm ready for the playoffs if we had a long playoff run, or what?
It would just be a postponement of surgery for me, because I pretty much had surgery after every season. So, yeah, whether it was a blown knee or, you have to get your thumb fixed or whatever. But it's funny listening to him talk like that. I just remember as a rookie hearing guys like Keith Butler, the older players, talk about the business side of it and everything and just going, huh? I don't even think about that when you're young. But I think, that's exactly what you would you're going to hear from a 41-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get beat up, and the money gets diluted a little bit, and 18 games is a long season. Now what are we going to have, like the Super Bowl at the end of February? I mean, it's just
What about that money part of it, though? The salary cap continues to go up.
Right.
They're going to have more money to spend. It's never evenly distributed. So that the idea when he's saying, well, 2 or 3 guys are going to get it, it's not going to be distributed evenly. It's not. When has it ever been distributed evenly?
No.
I mean, that's
exactly.
always so. That to me is a little bit of a false argument there, because it's just going to maintain. But I would think with the money going up, you're going to be able to spend it more on some of the, I guess, role players, if you will. Yeah, the stars are going to get their money. That's always how it's been.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he sounds like probably a NFLPA guy. Definitely. That, only certain guys are going to get it. But, look, work hard to become that guy. I don't think anybody's going to feel sorry for, the backup linebacker that's only getting, an extra $50,000 as opposed to, an extra $5 million or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think he's right, essentially, but it's very interesting where the NFL is right now, because you're talking about going to international games, you're talking about expanding the number of games to 18. It's like, where's the sweet spot? And I'm always like, why are they changing things when you have such a good product? And at what point is the NFL going to make a decision that's actually to their detriment?
Yeah.
Right now, they haven't really hit it.
No,
they haven't hit that.
They're pushing it, and money's the motivator.
Yep.
Money.
So, yeah, no question. And, we talk all the time about the top 80 or 75 shows watched during a year, and out of 100, or there's like a Miami versus Buffalo game.
Yeah.
So they have it. But I'm curious to see if, they're pushing it too far. That's where I was saying, earlier with the Invisible Man, the commissioner, that, he sounds kind of cocky about it, like this is going to happen. But, whenever I hear that, from Roger Goodell, I'm like, maybe pump the brakes a little bit here on this one. Let's not just assume that this is going to go over really well with fans, and take care of your fans.
Yeah.
The fans that you do have.
They're letting that greed. I mean, they're making a ton of money, but in their minds, what's better? Even more money. Yeah. So that's the driving force here. Meanwhile, the final piece of the Seahawks draft is coming into focus. We're going to break that down and talk about what we learned from John Schneider yesterday, and mean text coming up. All of that is coming up next with Wyman and Bob, live from Victory Hall at Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
511 is now part of Seattle, and they're celebrating at South Center Mall this Saturday, April 18th. 511 makes purpose-built gear, including pants, shirts, bags, and more, built to handle whatever your day throws at you. Be one of the first 100 people in line and get a free gift. Then check out the 511 Adventure Area and test your skills on the rock climbing wall. Join them from 10 to 6, one day only. Saturday, April 18th at South Center. Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Hour and a half drive here. To have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners getting back to business tonight at home. They welcome the Texas Rangers to town. Game 1 of the 3-game series, followed by 3 with the A's, but we take care of business tonight. Logan Gilbert will be on the hill for the Mariners, looking for a win, a desperately needed win on the heels of that 3-game sweep at the hands of the Padres. The Texas Rangers counter with Jacob deGrom. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show, 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Taking a look at your baseball scoreboard, headed to the bottom of the 6th in Cleveland. Still no score between the Guardians and the Orioles. Meanwhile, El Hombre is not going to be happy about this. Phillies getting hammered by the Braves right now in Philadelphia, 7-0 the score in the top of the 5th. Right now, the Pirates at home up 1-0 on the Rays. That one in the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 4th in Washington, Giants out to an 8-3 lead over the Nationals. Bottom of the 4th in New York, no score between the Yankees and the Royals. Same is true for the Marlins and Brewers in Miami. That one in the bottom of the 3rd. Bottom of the 4th in Boston, no score between the Red Sox and the Tigers.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We got mean text coming up at 5:15. So
just don't be stupid.
Just don't be stupid. There, I just saw a good one that was taking a shot at you and Paul.
That was pretty good. We have a good amount about butts.
That was a pretty good one. So get your mean text in again, 866-979-3776. That's coming up in at 5:15. So a little over 10 minutes from now, we'll get to that.
Hey, what's the word inning mean? Do we know?
Yeah, I think inning.
Inning.
I think it's short for inning.
Okay.
Like same with running backs.
Running backs. Yep.
Why does Paul hate the letter G?
He doesn't like the G sound.
At least today he didn't.
Is that like I know he lives in Texas now. I mean, he's got a place up here, but
where's he from originally?
Moyer is a Southern California guy.
Yeah, so he's got no excuse.
Yeah.
The difference is that he lived here for so long.
Moyer always has a comeback though. He's never a guy that's going to walk away and go, "Okay, you got me."
No.
So
he's got one. He's got one in the chamber.
He's always got one ready for you. Yeah, no question.
Yeah, today the G was absent. I don't know why. Running innings.
My mom does that sometimes with the days of the week, where she'll say Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm like, Mom, where's that coming from? She's a California person, but Moyer's got the Tuesday.
Yeah, Thursdays. It's a strange accent. I don't know what causes that, but okay.
But we love Paul.
Of course, yeah. He's a man of experience, Dave.
Yes, he is.
Meanwhile, we talked to John Schneider yesterday. We do the John Schneider Show every Thursday leading up to the draft, and we will speak with him the day of the draft. Next Thursday, we'll be broadcasting live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. We'll be on, I think, at 3 o'clock that day. So an hour later, but we're going until 9 or whenever the draft ends that night. But we'll talk to John that day. But we talked to him yesterday. Did you get a sense that they're dialed in? Like, all right, we know they don't know what the teams in front of them are going to do. They're going to be trades and moves and all that. But they've got their board. They've got their guys. They're however many players they put up on that board. I feel like they've got it. They're putting the final touches right now. Is what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I wonder. Because John in the beginning told us I'm behind, but he said my guys are not behind. Right, all of his scouts and everything, but having gone to the Super Bowl and had the bye week and everything, he probably feels a little bit out of sorts. So maybe it's a good thing that they only have 4 picks, But I guarantee you they have every last scenario. And Bob and I were fantasizing about what would we have to do to get into the draft room, and see exactly what
John Boyle, I guess. He got to sit in there last year.
Boyle did?
Yeah, he had a running diary of everything that happens.
Wow.
So.
I mean, and just
he promised to be quiet. He'll be like, "Great, you sit there, don't make noise."
Yeah.
We could do that easily.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good at being quiet.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get in. Just ask.
I don't know. That would be so cool because I'm sure that, if they we wanted that guy, let's go to scenario A, and then something happens, and then it's B and C, and so I'm sure that he seems like he's got it wrapped up. But we talked to him yesterday, and it just seems like he's definitely ready to go and got caught up to speed and everything. But yeah, like I said, maybe it's a relief that they only have 4 guys, but 4 picks, but they're definitely gonna it seems like they're not going to sit on their hands.
No, and then I think the intrigue is going to be: do they go with their 32nd pick? Do they trade out of that spot? Do they? The most unlikely thing to me is trading up. It's just not what they normally do. We've seen them do it in later rounds, but as far as first round,
it was like Tyler Lockett they moved up for.
Even Worry
they moved up
for DK as well, right?
I'm not sure about the DK one. There was another guy that they moved up as well. I can't remember, but yeah, it's not like something that he does a lot.
Yeah. not part of their normal philosophy there. But he was outlining yesterday what the final days leading up to the draft look like for them.
We started with the coaches today, which was pretty cool. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll have like just little downtime review. Monday we'll get back together and as a scouting staff and understand where our differences are, and then we'll have kind of separate studies on this player, that player, this player, that player here and there, and then Tuesday pretty much Mike and I and Jody will be coming over, so that'll be cool. We'll show her the board and what that looks like, and but yeah, we're getting really close. It's getting exciting.
What if Jody came in and looked at the board and just went, "Nah, I don't like it."
Like that one? Yeah.
I don't like it. I think you got to move this guy down here, move this guy up here.
I think John would say this isn't the New York Jets
or the Dallas Cowboys, or some of these other teams. But yeah.
Oh, it's going to be, presumably Jody's last draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that would be so cool to be in there and see exactly what he does. But.
I just want to see, is it a frenzy of activity? Like, are the phones just ringing left and right? And it's, hey, we got the Giants on the line. Hey, we got the Saints on the line. We're talking to Jacksonville. They want to do this, or they're proposing this. I think that'd be fascinating to sit there and watch.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure everything moves fast, but I know one thing John hates is when, people are like panicking and screaming and yelling, and it's
he's talking about the music they play, how they kind of get in this real calming music, and everybody's just.
I was going to tell him, whoever's in charge of the music, play Freebird, okay? Play Freebird.
Why Freebird?
Because it's an awesome song. But anyway, because I think they play reggae and stuff like that.
They need calming music.
Calm down,
David be in there with Metallica, Slipknot.
I'm not a Leonard Skinner fan, but that song has like 5 or 6 really good transitions. Just going from slow to fast and different. I just thought you would appreciate that musically, Bob.
It's just become a cliche.
Yeah.
Where
play Freebird.
That's what everybody yells out in the audience at a show. Freebird.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't like that part of it, and he always says that that indicates that you haven't done your work.
Yeah.
But they put their work in, and so everything goes smoothly on draft day.
Well, the one thing we asked him about that you and I were kind of speculating is he's very disciplined about, we don't draft for need. We're just going to take the best player available. Doesn't matter the position. We've got our board that says this guy is ranked here, this guy is ranked here.
Yeah.
For their as he made clear, they don't rank them for the NFL. They rank how they fit their team. So
I like the way you put that.
But it's still interesting to consider, all right, let's say hypothetically they're there at 32. They don't trade out. They don't find a trade partner. So we're going to make a pick. And on their board is a tight end.
Josh McGagey?
Yeah, well,
just tight end.
I'm just trying to think of a position you feel like
wide receiver.
We're good. Like, we don't need another tight end. We don't need another receiver. But your board says receiver or tight end or whatever, a spot you feel good about. And he was explaining how they balance need versus best available when it comes to the draft.
It usually ends up being like a combination of the two, really. And that's how we grade for our team. We don't grade for the National Football League. So we just say, okay, this is our best player for our team. And so that's kind of that's where that comes into the fold. Now, are there times where, we can't pass up a player that has, we think is going to get drafted higher, and here he comes, and we got to take him. So you're just taking the best player, and that's what that comes in. But as we build this thing, we're always building it for our team.
Well, and then the other thing is it's not like you can't make a move to accommodate the pick.
Right.
I mean, like, okay, well, then we're going to put this guy on the trading block, and we'll go from there. But we got to have this player just because he just stands out. So, and I think the most interesting thing about it would be, like, John, a long explanation of, like, show me 10 minutes of film and tell me why this guy is so much better than this guy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you'll see the guys that have stats that, Schneider's like, that's not really what we need. He has a very keen eye for that. And it's kind of a mystery to me. But, once he gets them, and then, you see, like, why did they pick Spoon at number 5 when they were set at corner that year? And now you see it, right?
Yeah.
It plays out. So yeah, that's the thing. Just what is that little difference that that catches his eye?
He sounds like he's pretty convicted though when he said like, well, here comes this guy and we had him ranked higher and here we got to take him. Sounds kind of like regardless of the position, we had this guy as maybe 26th. We're picking 32nd and he's available. We got to take him. Yeah, he's a tight end, or yeah, he's a wide receiver, but the board says this. It sounds like he's got a conviction about that. Now,
definitely,
we had a chance to catch up with Eric Kennedy, who is their equipment manager. Is that his official title? But the way John uses people around the building, they're not limited to what the title says there. And he talked about how, Eric Kennedy is important when it comes to evaluating players that they bring in.
The cool thing is that there's a huge trust level with EK and Mo, and the players in their offices are very close, and the players know that they can go to EK and to Mo, and then it's not going to go to the head coach or the GM or his position coach or anything like that. But from an evaluation standpoint, when we have our 30 visits, we have our local visits, we have free agents through, it's definitely like, okay, what do you think, EK? Like, you think could they fit in? How would they interact with guys that are in the room? Like, what's your feeling? And has so much experience with all the different personalities that have been through this building.
Yeah, I mean, EK is one of those guys that, he's the equipment guy. And so a lot of people, I'm sure, are like, oh, why are we interviewing the equipment guy? well, EK has a pretty deep knowledge of, he's almost been with this franchise, since the beginning.
Yeah, what was it, 37 years?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
I mean, went back to 88 or 89. And, and that's the thing is everybody goes to the equipment manager. So he's sort of the central. He gets a chance to interact with every single player. And so when these guys come in and, does somebody treat him like crap? Does somebody, treat him like he's his, hey, get me this and get me that and, things like that. We heard I heard stories about how Gray Zabel was in the locker room picking up garbage and throwing it in. And, somebody was like, hey, we'll do that. EK told him. And he's like, no, well, if somebody sees me doing it, then they'll do it, and it'll get better and better and better. Those are the kind of guys that EK can find a guy like that and say, John, this is the guy that we need.
Yeah, one more from John on that, explaining why he learns a lot from how players treat the equipment managers.
It's definitely a box to check, like how, was the guy rude? Like, how did he? I think I told you guys before. Like when I was still doing a lot of school calls, I would go to the equipment guy instead of the position coach.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like, well, how's he handle himself? Mm-hmm. And those guys are always just so direct and like, hey, he's sloppy. He treats people, or he's like really dialed in. He studies his tail off. They just see everything. And so when we have the 30 visits, they busted their tail, last week when we had the show last week. We had our local visit. We had 45 guys through, and the guys all had shorts. They had their jersey numbers, and the field's all set up perfectly, and yeah. And so we're asking about those guys too. Hey, how'd it go with? And these guys know now, we're not gonna, if you don't treat people appropriately, you're just not gonna be here.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
good, solid people, just kind of like you got with these Seattle Mariners here.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, we ready for mean text? Should we get to it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty sharp today.
That's pretty good. Find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. You got the Mariners pregame show coming your way. We'll talk to you on Monday with Wyman and Bob.
After reaching the NFL's mountaintop,
the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The work continues for the Seahawks to keep the foundation strong. It's the 2026 NFL Draft. Next Thursday, April 23rd, only Seattle Sports begins its first-round draft coverage with a reigning NFL Executive of the Year.
Who are the real Seahawks?
The John Schneider Show at 4 p.m. with Brock Hughes, Michael Bumpet, Steve Wyman, and host Bob Stelton live until 9 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account and participate in financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America, N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
If you're building decks in Washington this season, you need materials you can trust and a supplier who delivers. Par Lumber carries premium TimberTech and Trex composite decking. Get 20% off deck railing and lighting with any TimberTech or Trex deck board purchase. Visit par.com/decking to learn more.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC boats are easy to operate and maintain. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC, you have to see it to believe it.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Totally rad and totally Snohomish PUD. Slash energy costs and upgrade your crib with rebates on windows, insulation, heat pumps, water heaters, smart thermostats, and so much more. Since 1980, Snohomish PUD has been stoked to help customers save energy and money. Discover rebates and no-cost energy tips at snowpud.com/rebates.
Mariners and Rangers tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's Dan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join